So the fans have hung around and are ready now for some racing. 160 laps and 400 miles of competition here at Daytona International Speedway. Jeff Gordon will be on the pole for this race, qualifying at 188.869 miles an hour. And Sterling Marlin will be alongside Bill Elliott, who you see there already strapped in his McDonald's Ford, is ready to make his comeback after suffering injuries at Talladega earlier this year. So at Daytona International Speedway, we are just about set to start the engines and get this event underway, and we'll be right back for that.
Put 700 of the world's most powerful horses together, and what do you get? You get out of the way. The Budweiser Ken Schrader stock car. See you at the races.
It's 400 miles of rocky, rutted trails with enough bumps and jumps to shake a truck to pieces. But if you think an endurance race through the Arizona desert is a real torture test for a truck, just imagine what it can do to a battery. That's why Parker 400 winners Dan Smith and Dave Ashley chose a battery they could depend on to go the distance. The Duralast battery. The same Duralast you can depend on for your car, because it's the one we stock at AutoZone. The Duralast battery. Power you can depend on.
Welcome back live to Daytona International Speedway. Well, things were looking pretty good, but unfortunately it's sprinkling just a little bit. I don't think it's raining hard enough to delay anything right now, but it's sprinkling just a little bit.
And we see the drivers had gotten in the cars were uncovered. The crews now putting the tarps back over the car to make sure that none of the rain does fall, gets in the air cleaner element. There we see Sterling Marlin climbing in his car. As far as I know, we're going to be a start here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, this thing certainly isn't going to delay any further, I don't believe. Just a little bit of moisture falling, and as I indicated, the track for the most part looks pretty good, as the jet dryers and all the trucks have done a great job getting this surface dried off. We are staying in touch with NASCAR, and we will, of course, bring you any information we have regarding when they hope this race is going to get started. Jerry?
Well, Bob, the drivers are climbing in the cars you saw a moment ago, and we had some mist and some rain here on pit road. Jeff Gordon had just climbed in his pole-winning DuPont finishes Chevrolet. They're ready to race. In fact, they had the national anthem, and all the wives and celebrities out here. They're now recovering the car, trying to keep their driver dry. Let's peek in here with Jeff. Jeff sitting in the car. If we can try to get the tarp up. And Jeffrey, it's sort of like we're ready to go, and then we're not ready to go. The rain's coming a little bit, but this is just sort of a misting shower.
Yeah, you know, they're saying that there's some clear places behind it, so you know, they got the track dry. If we can keep some trucks out there, I think we're going to get it off today. It's just a matter of time of when it's going to get off. But you know, I think we're going to be in good shape. This overcast might help us out a little bit. You know, we like to be a little bit tighter, start out a little bit tighter than normal, and if that sun comes out, then we'll all have to start adjusting.
A lot of folks were speculating that maybe you guys sacrificed a little bit of handling for speed. You certainly had plenty of speed in qualifying.
Yeah, we got the speed part pretty good, and you know, that's something that we really haven't had here before. So you know, we are definitely having to work on the setup and get the car really to get as much downforce as possible. We're just going to have to wait and see. This is the best car that I've ever driven, and I think that these guys do a great job of getting as much downforce for the race and a good race setup. So you know, sometimes you do give that up, but hopefully we didn't today.
Well, that's Jeff Gordon, the new pole sitter here with a record, actually a lap, a mile an hour and a half faster than anybody else in the field, as he is poised and ready to race. Let's check in back further in the field. I think Bill Weber is called up with Gentleman Jimmy.
And he sits in his Smoking Joe's car, ready to go race. Hey, what's going on here, huh?
Oh, not much. I'll tell you, we were getting ready. I mean, there's no doubt about it, and the track was in good shape, and it all come down again. But that's part of life, I guess.
Special memories for you here, Jimmy. Has to be.
It really is. You know, that's our first ever win. It meant a lot to me. You know, Daytona is so special. I've been coming here so many years. And to win the way we did, it was not a given. You know, we had to earn it. And I'll tell you something. I think that this team is on that category that we were that day. I think that, you know, the last couple of weeks we've been running strong. Our cars have been better, our motors, our pit stops, and that's what we need. And we've been working on top 10 finishes, and we've been doing that. If we can keep banging out them top 10s, I think that win will come. But that was our goal today, and hopefully we'll get this in. I think we will. That Smoking Joe's guys have been working hard, and I think that if we can keep being in them top 10s around, we'll be in the top 10 of points before the year's over.
He's optimistic about his ride and about the weather. And now further up pit road to a guy that starts near the front, John Kernan with DW.
Well, I'm with Darrell's younger brother, Michael, who is keeping a cool head right now. Michael, what do you got there?
Little fresh air there, John. Makes you feel good on a hot, muggy day.
Yeah, hey, let me have that back. Hey, tell me about the race today. Here we are waiting and waiting and waiting. And you guys get in the car, and then it starts raining again. You think we're going to get this in, aren't we?
I think we will. I felt that way all day long. This Florida weather in July doesn't usually sit in, but it has pretty much for today so far. But I think we'll get it in. And the Citgo Ford, despite a qualifying effort of 23rd, is running great. You know, we started 31st in Talladega and was able to lead the race and run well with this very car. And Eddie and Lynn and all the boys that gave me a great car, and Jack Roush has got me a strong engine under the hood. You can tell that because I'm ahead of all his cars, so that I must have got the best one out of that deal. And you know, we're at the midpoint here, and I just wanted to let everybody know how much fun it's been driving for the Wood Brothers. It's been great. I appreciate my sponsors, Citgo, Grand Piano and Furniture, Bosch Spark Plugs, and Goodyear Tires have been awful good to us all year long. I think this Winston Cup season first half has been one of the best ever.
Yeah, I think you're right, and the second half should be really good, too. Good luck today, Michael. Let's go down pit road to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, we're just all visiting down here, actually. DW here, and Darrell Waltrip, Jim Johnston from R.J. Reynolds Tobacco, T. Wayne Roberts, and all the folks here are congratulating some of the drivers over here. Hey, the good news, though, is, guys, the rain has quit again.
So what are you doing holding that umbrella up there, then?
We'll get rid of that.
You sound like NASCAR. They told us to put up the umbrellas and turn off the windshield wipers. We didn't want anybody to know it was raining.
Hey, you've been dancing all week. I think you might have brought us some rain, but you've been awfully happy for other reasons.
Well, I'm running good, and, you know, we got a lot to look forward to. I said that earlier. The Western Auto team has been working hard. Jeff come over there, and he found some things that was going to help us, and we built some new cars. It's the same story you hear from a lot of drivers right now. Everybody looks forward to the second half of the year. They think that the worst is behind them. I think that's our case, and I want to say hi to John Leach up in Kansas City, and happy birthday to my wife. You'll be tomorrow's her birthday.
Well, yeah, exactly. We were waiting for the number. It said, boy, if you mention that, you are in the serious doghouse.
I backed up quick, didn't I? Happy birthday, honey.
Oh, well, boy, is this guy sharp? He can dance in more ways than one. Now, a moment ago, his wife was kissing somebody, and it wasn't him. This guy right over here.
I told you not to tell.
Oh, I'm sorry. She was hugging.
Kiss and tell guys, aren't you?
I'm sorry. She was hugging this guy, but he's a friend. And Darrell was here. We're talking about Kenny Schrader. And Kenny, we know yours is coming. Your team gets better and better and better. Rick talked to us earlier today. He said, everybody down here wants Kenny Schrader to get his first, and maybe it'll come today.
I'll tell you what, the guy's been working awful hard. We got a good car for here. Same car we run third with in February. It's been a good race for us. We haven't run out of the top 6 the last 6 years here, so I'm ready to go. Just get this thing dried up.
How about that new paint job? That's the Olympic colors, huh?
Well, starting with Independence Day and running through Talladega through the Olympics. It's just Anheuser-Busch a way of saluting all the Olympics and all the Olympic athletes, and we think it's pretty neat.
You don't mind it being a little bit slippery here? I mean, with the rains coming. I mean, you're a sprint car guy. You like a slipping and sliding.
That's why I like this race, when you're slipping and sliding, because the track's slick, but it'll get slick enough. We don't need a little water on top of it also.
Hey, Kenny, best of luck to you today.
Hey, thank you, Jerry.
Kenny Schrader starts back in 8th spot in a brand new paint job. Red and white stripes on the front of that Chevrolet Monte Carlo, guys. And by the way, they're going to keep the medal count on the side of that car. They have a tarp on it right now, but as the Olympics start here next month, they're going to actually put the number of gold, silver, and bronze medals that the U.S. wins on the side of his Budweiser Chevy. Bob?
And there are several new paint jobs that we're seeing here this weekend. Dave Marcus looks a little different, and so does Kyle Petty.
Yes, he has a completely different car, and also announced that they would be leaving the team at the end of the year. So Kyle Petty and Felix, a lot of changes with the 42 car.
So this
fastest qualifier. 3-time Winston Cup champion Darrell Waltrip. What a comeback for competition for DW. Qualifying 4th quickest in a car that was totally rebuilt after Talladega. Darrell has been smiling and shuffling since qualifying, and he will shuffle away from 4th starting spot today. All 4 of these guys have made their mark at Daytona. One driver is waiting to make his back further in the pack. Here's John Kernan.
Jerry, as soon as Dave Marcus rolls off the line, it will be his 800th career NASCAR Winston Cup start. He is 26th fastest after getting a qualifying motor, borrowing Dale Earnhardt's qualifying motor in qualifying second round yesterday. He would have been 8th quickest on the field. Dave, 800 starts. How important is it?
It's a great moment, you know, just to be here, just being 800 starts, and everybody that's been involved, all the people that work for me, my wife, my children, and, you know, just NASCAR, Winston Cup, and it's just great to be here. Goodyear, they've been along with me all these years, and Chevrolet, so we're looking forward to the Pepsi 400 today, and this is our 800 start.
Dave Marcus rolling off 26th, a big day for him, also a big day for Bill Elliott. For more, here's Bill Weber.
Well, John, everybody knows the 4th of July weekend means plenty of explosive excitement. Bill Elliott knows a lot about excitement on this weekend. In 1988, he started 38th in this race and won. Earlier this week, an explosive announcement that Bill would return for this event. A month earlier than expected, he starts 28th. Now, another key to a successful 4th of July is pack it with plenty of surprises. This race does just that. Ask Jimmy Spencer, who starts 27th, or Greg Sachs, who starts 30th. Both are 4th of July sparklers. Their only Winston Cup wins, in fact, their first Winston Cup wins, came in this race. But 80% of the guys that have gone to victory lane in a race at Daytona have started inside the top 10. And Dr. Jerry Punch, that could be bad news for a couple of favorites rolling off 11th and 12th.
Well, you know, Bill, stats are for statisticians, but race day is for race car drivers. And I direct your attention right here to row 6. Terry Labonte and Rusty Wallace both have won Winston Cup titles. Both have won this year. Both are experienced and veteran drivers, but neither have ever won at Daytona. I firmly believe that one of those 2 drivers, maybe both, will be a factor before we get 400 miles completed today. Let's go to John Kernan.
Jerry, I'm in the back of the field. Guys you would normally see running up front here. Mark Martin, he had a problem with the oil pressure, lost it, burned a bearing, did not qualify. He takes a provisional. Ricky Rudd, this is the car that he has run well with here, and also at Talladega. They did not get a chance to test with this after replacing the body. He rolls off also with a provisional, and Ted Musgrave is in a car that has finished in the top 10 3 straight times here at Daytona, but he's starting right in front of his teammate back in the 38th spot. Ted says he's not worried that the car races really well. Now let's go to Bill Weber.
Well, Dale Earnhardt loves this track. In July, it's the only time he's been ever able to win a points race here. But if he can get to victory lane today, $180,000 in bonus money is waiting for him. But everybody knows the 4th of July is really for kids. Well, check out row 3. Johnny Benson starts 5th, trying to have a strong second half after struggling through his rookie season. And Jeff Purvis is right next door. He won the ARCA event here during Speed Week. His best Winston Cup finish is 12th. But if either of those kids can get to victory lane, well, we'll see plenty of fireworks here later this afternoon. Now let's go upstairs to Bob Jenkins and Benny Parsons.
Dale Earnhardt comes in as the points leader. The top 3 separated by just 47 markers, with Labonte in 2nd, Gordon in 3rd, Dale Jarrett and Ricky Rudd in 4th and 5th. 6 through 10 separated by a total of 118 points, with Mark Martin and Ted Musgrave tied for 9th as we conclude the first half of the 1996 season. And Benny, you can talk all you want about what might happen here, but these guys have still got to get a hold of this racetrack, and it may be even more difficult because all the rubber has been washed away by the rain.
This is a very difficult racetrack at best, but in February it's a totally different racetrack than July. Folks, it's going to be 90 degrees. Very, very difficult for these drivers to get the cars to handle. Jeff Gordon, we said he's 1.5 miles an hour faster than the 2nd fastest qualifier. I don't know if that's a good news or bad news, because Jeff may have left something on the table. He may have a fast race car, but not a race car that will handle 30, 40, 80 laps into the race.
We've been plagued by rain all day long, but optimistic that now the cars are on the racetrack and we'll be able to get the green flag in just a few moments and get this 38th edition of the Pepsi 400 underway from Daytona International Speedway on ESPN Speed World. We'll take a break and be back with the starting lineup when we return to Daytona. It's a July 4th holiday weekend tradition, the Pepsi 400 from Daytona, being brought to you by the Pepsi-Cola Company, who reminds you that nothing else is a Pepsi. By Lubricator 2001 Super Engine Treatment. It's an engine production breakthrough. By Sears Tire and Auto Centers. And by Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. A great crowd on hand here at Daytona. Let's see how they line up for this event. On the pole is Jeff Gordon in the DuPont Refinishes Chevrolet 188.869, and Sterling Marlin alongside in the Kodak Film Chevrolet at 187.207. The second row, it's Dale Jarrett and Darrell Waltrip. Row number 3, Johnny Benson and Jeff Purvis. The fourth row, Dale Earnhardt and Ken Schrader. Row number 5, Lake Speed and Bobby Labonte. Rusty Wallace and Terry Labonte are in the next row. Then Dick Trickle and Ernie Irvin. Row number 8, Robert Presley and Hut Strickland. Derek Cope and Morgan Shepherd are in the next row. Then Bobby Hamilton and Joe Nemechek. Row number 11, Kenny Wallace and John Andretti. The 12th row, Michael Waltrip and Jeremy Mayfield.
Back in row 13, we found Ricky Craven and Dave Marcus starting his 800th race. Row 14, Jimmy Spencer and Bill Elliott, we saw just a moment ago. Row 15, Gary Bradbury in the Shoney's Inn car, and Greg Sachs replacing Steve Grissom, the Cartoon Network car. Row 16, Bobby Helen and Rick Mast. 17, Jeff Burton and Ward Burton. The Burton brothers make up row 17. In row 18, Wally Dallenbach and Brett Bodine. Row 19, Kyle Petty, Ted Musgrave. And here are the provisionals. In row 20, Ricky Rudd, Mark Martin. The other two provisionals, Jeff Bodine and Loy Allen.
There is the 42 cars starting lineup, and from the Goodyear blimp overhead, we see a shot of this facility here with Lake Lloyd there in the middle. 2.5-mile tri-oval, front stretch at 1,200 feet, back stretch 3,600 feet. The banking 31 degrees in the corners, the straights at 6 degrees, and the tri-oval is banked at 18 degrees.
As a matter of fact, in Daytona, USA, they have the 31 degrees simulated inside, and you can see, folks, when you visit, just how high 31 degrees can be. In-car cameras. This is Mark Martin's car starting at the rear of the field. And there we see Kenny Schrader in the Bud in-car camera. Ted Musgrave, the Prime Star Family Channel Ford. Hut Strickland, this is the Circuit City Ford Thunderbird. And we'll be riding along with Dale Jarrett in the A1 Steak Sauce in-car camera. I love those sponsors. Loy Allen's Health Source Ford. Oh, we got another one.
One more.
Michael Waltrip, the Citgo Ford Thunderbird.
Starting from the middle of the field in 23rd position. Now, these cars are going to stay out there for a while to make sure the track is good and dry before they turn them loose for high-speed racing. These laps do not count. They will be going around several more times before they get the green flag, just to make sure that the track is completely dry. We'll take a break and be back with more of the Pepsi 400 live from Daytona. Field has still not gotten the green flag. We're just a few minutes away from it. Today's overhead shots are courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes, based in Pompano Beach, Florida. And you'll notice that it doesn't look like it usually does, and that's because the new temporary look is in preparation for the upcoming Olympic Games in Atlanta, Georgia. Here's the look at the banking, the 31 degrees that they are going through right now in turns number 1 and 2. We understand it's going to be about 5 more minutes before they get the green flag, but the track looks really good, Benny.
Yes, it does. Looks very well. Looks like we will see action in just a moment. And I tell you what, Jerry punches Ray Evernham. Does he feel? What does Jeff say about the racetrack, Jerry?
Well, just a moment ago, what did Jeff tell you, Ray, about the track when it'd be ready?
Said it'd be about 2 or 3 more laps. It's quit raining. It's drying out pretty good.
Got to ask you, as a Winston Cup champion, you get a chance to pick the first pit. Ordinarily, you're at the far end of pit road or down toward turn 1. Why have you changed? You're halfway up here at the start-finish line. Why?
Well, we want to find out about this pit road deal ourselves. You know, we've got some ideas. It's got an opening in front of it and behind it, so it's easy entry, easy exit. It's halfway up pit road. Under green, which this race could come down to green, it would make a difference carrying momentum off of pit road. Last week at Michigan, you know, we came in on a pit stop with the first pit, and we were, I think, a second ahead of Ernie Irvin, and when it all shook down, we were 2 seconds behind him because he had so much momentum off of pit road under green. So we took it here, and it's pit number 24.
Hey, well, maybe it is something in the numerology. Thanks, Ray. NASCAR wants to talk to you about communicating to your driver, Jeff Gordon, while he talks to the pole sitter. Let's check in Dale Earnhardt's pit, I think, where Bill Weber standing by with David Smith.
And David has been talking to his driver, Dale Earnhardt. What's he say about the track?
Well, he talked like they could just about be ready to go any time, but they're going to give it another lap or two. I just heard NASCAR talking about turn 3 again. May need a little bit more drying, but Dale's chomping at the bit. He wants to get this thing underway. He's ready to go.
Well, you guys are in a different situation this season. You don't have the champion's pick when it comes to pits. How about your pit stall? You got a good one?
Well, it's going to work out for us. There's some others I'd rather have, but we'll do fine out of here. We just need to make good, smooth stops, get him back on the track, and let him at it.
David Smith, Dale Earnhardt, ready to go to John Kernan.
And I'm in Dale Jarrett's pit with his crew chief, Todd Parrott. And Todd, what has Dale said about the racetrack?
He just come on the radio just a minute ago and said it's still a little wet down in 3 and 4. All in all, it's not too bad. Just a little wet down on the bottom. Just anxious to get ready.
Well, it looks like, what, 2 laps before they turn them loose?
Yeah, that's what they just said. NASCAR said 2 to go before we go green.
All right, 2 to go before they turn them loose under the green flag, guys.
So we will await the start of the race here in just a couple of more laps. There is Dale Jarrett, and there is the A1 Steak Sauce in-car camera showing the pole sitter Jeff Gordon up ahead.
You know, we have some radio contact with some of the teams. Let's ask Lake Speed, the spam car, what he thinks the racetrack's looking like. Lake Speed, this is Benny Parsons up at ESPN. How's the racetrack looking?
Benny, it looks awful good out here right now. I think we'll be going here real soon.
What was the signal Doyle Ford gave you the last time? 2 laps? What was the signal that Doyle gave you last time, Lake, for how many laps to go?
I think we got 2 to go right now, Benny.
All right, there you have it, folks. About a lap and a half and green flag.
And it can't come too soon because the race fans here have been very, very patient, but they, as we do, want to get this thing underway and completed today so that you and we can have the rest of the July 4th holiday weekend with family. The field is in turn number 3 and still a couple of more laps before we go racing and to start the Pepsi 400, so we'll take another break. Stand by. Field coming down the backstretch, and you see no flashing lights atop the pace car, and that means that they will get the green flag when they come by the line this time. Now, we did have some drivers, especially those starting at the rear of the field, come in for a pit stop and to top off before getting the green.
Yeah, about 7 of the cars started in the back, stopped, put some fuel in the car because after all they had run 4 or 5 slow laps, pace laps, getting the track dried off. And remember, at Michigan, the last race a couple of weeks ago, Rusty Wallace won the race on fuel mileage. He did not make a pit stop, and some of the cars that were in front of him appeared to be faster than he did stop. So
taking a quick trip through our in-car cameras that will help us with our coverage here this afternoon. There is Michael Waltrip. Let's watch the field come off the 4th corner and go to green. Off to a very good start as the outside front row sitter is in the lead, and they're 4 wide down the backstretch. Dick Trickle left side tires in the grass as they head for the banking.
And I know he don't want to be in the grass because it is extremely slippery down there. Darrell Waltrip on the outside, hung on the outside.
Off the banking they come on to the tri-oval for the completion of lap 1. It's Marlin, Gordon, Jarrett, Earnhardt, and Benson.
See leg speed. Dick Trickle and 90 car on the bottom of the racetrack.
We got about 6 cars single file, and then this 2 abreast.
Well, it didn't take them long to get by that camera, did it? At about 185 miles an hour. Rusty Wallace down on the inside. Takes a look. Can't make it. Terry Labonte, Rusty Wallace following Dick Trickle.
Bobby Labonte, or Bobby Hamilton, I should say, up on the top side along with Bobby Labonte. Second lap, still Marlin up front. Ken Schrader breaks away from the 2x2.
We're riding along with Hut Strickland. Michael Waltrip right beside Hut. Michael's very, very high on the racetrack as he follows Derek Cope off the second corner.
There's Kenny Schrader looking back on Rusty Wallace. And Jeff Purvis. Yep. Right behind Purvis is Bobby, and then Terry's to the inside.
And we see those 2 cars side by side are losing some ground to the 25 car. Mark Martin and Ricky Rudd started near the pack, the end of the field.
They're both trying to move up. Martin up to 37th position. Ricky Rudd in 40th. Well, that can't be because Martin is right behind Rudd. Ted Musgrave also starting from the rear of the field today, and there's Ted.
That's the rear of the field. Let's go back to the front where Sterling Marlin and Jeff Gordon are leading this car, Dale Jarrett. This is turn 4. They exit the corner, and look, they get the cars behind them.
We got about 11 running single file, and then we get back to the 2x2. And the first 2 cars running side by side are Ernie Irvan, Jeff Purvis, then Robert Presley and Bobby Labonte.
Oh, look at Purvis back and forth. They're telling Jeff Purvis is telling the guys on the radio, look, I just need to ride along, get some confidence. Bill Weber, what did he say on the radio?
He hasn't said a whole lot, Benny, but that's exactly what Mark Reno said. He said he might be a little bit nervous, trying to build a little confidence early, so hanging on right at the front, very fast cars. Jeff Purvis trying to race well and also build up his confidence early here in the Pepsi 400.
Now, really would be wise if these guys could fall into single file because those running in single file are pulling away in the draft.
The problem is who's going to back off, and if they do, they're going to get run over. But there really isn't any way to get single file right now. Get in single file. He tried to. Now he's going to move up. But now here comes Presley.
There's Jeremy Mayfield and Kenny Wallace running side by side. John Andretti is also in this gaggle of cars, as Benny calls it, running alongside Bobby Hamilton. There's the view of Hut Strickland looking ahead to Robert Presley. And Presley have fallen into single file formation as they try to catch up with the lead draft, which is still being led by Sterling Marlin, but the real action is back here at mid and late pack. Sterling Marlin continues to lead, then Jeff Gordon, Dale Jarrett, Dale Earnhardt.
Johnny Benson's in there. Darrell Waltrip still hanging in 6th spot. And here we see somebody on the inside trying to make it 3 abreast. That is a 21 car, Michael Waltrip.
Wally Dallenbach is the meat in that sandwich as Derek Cope is on the high side, but everything gets straightened out by the time they enter the banking.
John Andretti has been able to clear the 44 car of Jeff Purvis. Meanwhile, he is pulled up in front of the 44 Purvis. Looks like the outside line might be the one to go now.
John Andretti running back in 16th position at the moment.
And look at Purvis go on the outside, trying to take that spot away. Now then, here comes Lake Speed and Schrader trying to get alongside. Dick Trickle has been blown back to the outside and has lost 3 or 4 spots as Rusty Wallace and Terry Labonte hook up, try to work their way to the front.
Schrader using just a lane higher route there in the corners, but maintaining the draft. And look at this, coming off the onto the tri-oval, off the 4th corner banking. 3 wide down through here. Purvis, Andretti, and Mayfield. And they run 3 wide all the way down through the tri-oval and into the corner. And now Andretti tries to come up on Purvis, but Jeff holds his ground. Now he'll slip in behind John.
That really was the wisest thing to do, because hooked up together now. Ricky Craven trying to look on the inside. Spencer, I thought was going to close that spot.
Well, the Napa Field summary will show you where everybody is running here in the early stages of the race, but these positions are changing quickly, especially back in this group.
That time when Purvis got in the corner in the 44 car, he had to lift off the throttle. In doing that, Jeremy Mayfield went by, and you can see he's still losing momentum. Ricky Craven was able to get by. Now his car is back up to speed.
There is Bill Elliott, who has fallen back to the rear of this pack, running along with Gary Bradbury.
Yes, that's Bradbury in the 95 car. So evidently something is amiss with the McDonald's car, because we see Elliott was 35th on the last couple of laps, and now is back in 42nd.
Bill Elliott making his return to racing about a month earlier than everybody had anticipated because of the injury that he suffered at Talladega. He missed 5 races, but returns here to action at Daytona, but he has fallen to the rear of the field at the moment. It's Sterling Marlin up front, followed by Jeff Gordon, Dale Jarrett, Dale Earnhardt, and Darrell Waltrip are 1 through 5. After 10 laps of the Pepsi 400, we'll be back with more in just a moment. Stay with us. Back at the Pepsi 400. Sterling Marlin continues to lead Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt. Then Ken Schrader, Terry Labonte. Dale Jarrett got hung up high in the draft a lap or so ago and has fallen back to 6th position. He was 3rd just a few minutes ago.
Well, going to break, he was in 3rd spot. While we're in break, Earnhardt got position on the outside and brought Kenny Schrader, Terry Labonte with him.
Chevys up front at the moment. And
that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, the Ford of Dale Jarrett.
See, Ernie Irvin and Dick Trickle closed in on the back of Dale Jarrett.
Ward Burton and Jeremy Mayfield are running side by side into turn number 1. And the 22 car has made a pretty good headway here in the early going.
22 car started in 34th. And has run about 16.
And look at this.
Hey, Schrader going by Earnhardt. Earnhardt must have slipped coming off the corner because Schrader has position. Labonte goes along. Here comes Dale Jarrett trying to take the Quality Care Ford by.
And that's how quickly you can lose positions in the draft. And Earnhardt is still on the outside. And with the line formed to the inside of him, it could be quite a while before he gets back into position. Jarrett has gone around, and so has Dick Trickle now. So the Henry cars are now running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, being led by Sterling Marlin. This is Dale Jarrett as he tries to pick up the draft of the 4 cars in front of him. Meanwhile, back of that, we have Earnhardt and Trickle running side by side. Ernie Irvin and Bobby Labonte are 2x2. Blake Speed and Rusty Wallace are the same.
Bobby Labonte says, every place I can go, there's 2 cars running side by side.
John Andretti and Robert Presley have also joined the group. And now Ken Schrader takes over 2nd position. Labonte goes to 3rd, and Jeff Gordon is hung out to dry. And Gordon goes from 2nd to 5th just that quickly.
Look at Schrader's car on the very, very bottom of this racetrack. Evidently, he and Phil Hamner got a great setup today. Awfully good sign when the driver can follow that white line all the way around the corner.
The driver who has the best average finish of all active drivers at a Pepsi 400, Ken Schrader. And 2nd on the all-time list, an average finish of 10th. Good shot there, looking back on his teammate Terry Labonte, and oh, this is at 190 miles an hour.
Labonte just wanted to make sure he knew it, and there we see Dale Jarrett trying to get by Labonte.
Jerry, a good run by Kenny.
Bob, no doubt about it. In fact, this car was dialed in back in February. It's the exact same race car he used to finish 2nd in the 125-mile qualifier and 3rd in the Daytona 500. Remember, they lost the Atlanta lug nut problem at Talladega, cost them a lap. That's why they finished back in the pack there. But this is a very brand new race car they wanted to keep for Daytona primarily and Talladega if needed. They said this car could win a Daytona, and that win could come today.
Boy, it'd be great to see Ken Schrader take that car to the front. We're watching now Jeff Gordon still on the outside of the racetrack, and there is Schrader's bumper cam looking back on Terry Labonte.
And we see that Dale Jarrett in the quality gear cars worked his way back to the 5th spot there against that 2nd pack. And Earnhardt finally, with Ernie Irvin's help, looks like he's able to get by. He does. The Dick Trickle car. There goes Bobby Labonte. Has Robert Presley closed up on the back end. Trickle, meanwhile, has the 9 car of Blake Speed to help him.
Now the question is, are these 3 Hendrick cars running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th going to gang up and run down Sterling Marlin?
Yeah.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Sterling, your history. That's what they're saying right now.
Would they have the thought in mind of running behind him at this stage of the race and being a little concerned about fuel?
I don't think so, because these cars can probably run 120 miles, 125 miles on a tank of fuel with the restrictor plate that their cars are using here. There we go, Schrader on the inside, trying to take the lead in turn 1.
And he's going to do it. Terry Labonte heads to the bottom also, along with Jeff Gordon. They are going to gang up on Sterling Marlin, but Marlin, amazingly, is able to hold his own outside of the draft.
Don't tell me Labonte is going. No, he's not going. I thought for a second he was going with Sterling Marlin.
But now these guys are 2x2. Ernie Irvin has caught up to make it a 7-car lead draft.
Now we understand why Richard Childress in 1997 is going to have a 2-car team. And also discussions about Morgan McLaurin because we've had the 3 Hendrick cars and the 2 Yates cars in the top 7 spots.
Oh, good back and forth battling here.
And looks like Marlin. Looks like Kenny Schrader led that lap.
But just barely. Schrader and Jeff Gordon 2x2. Terry Labonte also in the mess.
Yeah, that's a good word for mess.
Now again, with these guys running 2x2 up front, the 2nd pack is going to catch up, and this is going to be a, well, you count them. However many cars are out there.
Well, there's about 10 or 12 in another pack, so we want to have about a 25-30 car pack for the lead. Meanwhile, Sterling Marlin has fought off the efforts of Schrader to take the lead.
Darrell Waltrip is not in the lead draft. He started in 4th position, but has fallen back to 26th. Let's find out what the problem is from John Kernan.
Darrell trying desperately to hang on to the tail end of the lead draft. Jeff Hanna told me he got shuffled out, and got out of line and just went straight back, lost 15 spots in about 1 lap. Darrell's reporting that the car is loose when there's another car behind him. So he's trying to hang on at the tail end of that lead draft, but it looks like he is losing it. When they pit, they will make a wedge adjustment to try and tighten the car up.
Sterling Marlin has been able to withstand the Hendrick onslaught and maintains the lead. That's pretty good.
Now, Jeff Gordon, the pole sitter, has worked his way back into the second spot.
Rusty Wallace is on the bottom of the track there.
It looks like he's losing some spots. He was up in about 6 spots, but meanwhile, Robert Presley, the 18 car at late speed, and the 90 car now going by Rusty Wallace.
Right behind Rusty is Michael Waltrip in this Sitco Ford for the Wood brothers. Here comes Dick Trickle driving the Heilig Myers number 90 now on a race-to-race basis for Judy Donlevy.
There's a bunch of Fords in that bunch.
Yeah, there is.
There's 5 Fords.
And there's Wally Dallenbach right behind that group of 4. Bobby Labonte leading that group. He has pretty much pulled away now. Ken Schrader, meanwhile, is the one that's lost spots recently.
Schrader got out of the mix somehow and has worked his way back to about 10 spots.
It's Sterling Marlin showing the way with 23 laps completed out of 160. Gordon second, then Terry Labonte, Dale Earnhardt, and Ernie Irvin. We're under caution here at Daytona because of this piece of debris on the backstretch.
That is a rear spring.
Wow.
That's what holds the car up.
Did it come off the 29 car? Because the 29 car has come in for a pit stop, and there was reported smoke out of that car. Well, he looks okay.
If he loses the coil spring, it's going to smoke because the tire is going to drop down on the sheet metal, or the reverse, the sheet metal is going to drop down on the car.
Well, the track officials are there. Meanwhile, while that was happening, as they were coming down to get the caution, Dale Earnhardt almost wrecked. Watch this.
He's going to make contact with Ernie Irvin right here. Just a little bit of contact, and Earnhardt almost lost it. That was a spring from the 29 car.
How about that? And he is, oh, yeah, you can see.
Yeah. See where the body has dropped down on the tire, and that was the smoke that we saw. We thought the 29 car had blown.
Yep. All right, the pits are open, and here comes nearly everybody. Here's Jerry Punch.
They are planning just a 2-tire change here in Jeff Gordon's pit. He's complaining of being loose. They're going to take a half around the bite. There it goes, a half round out of the right rear. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Sterling Marlin, they go to work on the right side. 2-tire change on the right side. Pulling of fuel, the Kodak Chevrolet. It'll be 4 tires now for the 4 car. Also 4 tires down there for the 3 car. The 44 car slides in front of the 3. Sterling getting left side tires and fuel. Waiting now on the left rear. The car down, he's away. Waiting for the 3 to work his way out. Plenty of cars coming out of pit road. The 88 goes by. The 2, the 3 back out.
Not a single car remained on the racetrack. Everybody came in for a pit stop, and now they make the shuffle.
There we see Darrell Waltrip leaving the pits, Kenny Wallace, Ricky Craven, Bill Elliott, and Jeff Purvis.
Johnny Benson among the last to leave. Morgan Shepherd is still on pit road along with Dave Marcus. The 29 car of Greg Sachs has gone to the garage area because of that spring that came out of the car. We'll be right back. The yellow flag is still being thrown over Daytona International Speedway. 33 cars in with damage. Jerry Punch, you down there?
Yes, we are, Bob. He was exiting the pits after a 4-tire change and apparently got into another car as he was leaving pit road. That's Andy Petrie, the team manager, crew chief, called Robert Presley back in. They've taken the right front tire off and now trying to beat some of the sheet metal back away. Spotter said they had a tire rub. Then they drop it out from under the jack and they make sure the car will turn right and left. And Presley is down and away. Let's go to...
Dale Jarrett on his pit stop, he had complained that the car was just a little bit tight, so they made a track bar adjustment to try and loosen the car up. It was 4 tires. It was a fairly routine stop, although he did have just a little bit of trouble getting out of the pit. The 8 car was in front of him, but DJ lost some spots in here on pit road, but there were no real problems.
And we're less than a half a lap from the resumption of that race. There is Dale Jarrett.
And I don't know how in the world Strickland had left pit road almost last, and he was up front, but had a slow pit stop. I guess changed 4 tires. Some of the other guys changed 2 tires.
John Kernan has an update on Hutt.
Before the caution, a few laps before that, Hutt had radioed in and told his crew that the engine had just lost power. And he flipped the switch to change ignition, and all of a sudden things picked back up, so it must have been an ignition problem. He said he was back to full power, and the car felt pretty decent, but they needed that caution flag so they could get caught back up with the field. But Hutt seems to be okay right now. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Sterling Marlin very happy with the Kodak Chevrolet as the green flag comes out. Jeff Gordon leads him back after a 2-tire stop, but 4 tires for the 4 to 3, and 3 crew chief David Smith told me they took 4 now because if they need to stop under green, it'll probably be 2 tires.
So Jeff Gordon has the lead as we go back to racing, and Lake Speed is running in 2nd position. Before the caution, Lake was in 11th spot, so he is up to 2nd now as the race resumes. And Ken Schrader running 3rd. Sterling Marlin is 4th, and then it is the 37 car of John Andretti as they once again get 2 by 2 down the backstretch, and Dale Jarrett pulls alongside both Dale Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace.
Going by the Dale Jarrett car, trying to go by on the outside. Dale Jarrett hung on the inside, has no one to draft with, but there comes his teammate Ernie Irvin, not too far behind him, but Dale jumps in behind Terry Labonte.
Again, Lake Speed from 11th to 2nd, and the reason is because he had a real good pit stop there. 30 seconds compared to 39.1 for Sterling Marlin.
Marlin changed 4 tires, and Lake Speed obviously only changed the 2 tires, as did Jeff Gordon, the leader of the race.
Yep.
Now we've got Rusty Wallace hung down on the bottom of the racetrack as Terry Labonte goes by.
Track position, very important. Lake Speed went with it. The 29 car of Greg Sachs goes back out onto the racetrack. Have you ever had a spring come out of your car, BP?
Yeah, after I hit somebody running about 100 miles an hour, but never just fall out of the car. Ever see John Andretti?
Boy, remember the great run he had here in the Daytona 500 in February until he eliminated in an accident. John having another good run.
Something happened to Schrader.
Oh, yeah.
Kenny Schrader went down in the corner. Andretti goes blowing by. Labonte goes blowing by on the outside. That's Bobby.
Well, we'll keep an eye on Ken Schrader because he was running so strong there for a while. And here is Sterling Marlin taking 2nd position from Lake Speed, and now setting his sights on the leader, Jeff Gordon. Bill has more on Lake Speed as he continues to drop back, Bill.
Well, they were very happy. I just talked to his crew chief. They were happy that a 2-tire stop, and they said the car's fine. They just wanted to put 2 on in the fuel and send it back out. So they weren't overly worried a few minutes ago, but they might be pretty soon.
Labonte and Terry Labonte are hooked up on the outside, going around Lake Speed, and Jimmy Spencer, who's now in this mix. And Dale Earnhardt comes off the corner, goes to the inside, and tries to take the position away from John Andretti. They're side by side down the backstretch. Dale Jarrett is going to go with the Ford.
He's trying to help the Ford, but he finds out that Ford is not fast enough, so he'll dive down and try to go with that Chevrolet and gain another spot. And he does.
So Dale Earnhardt comes up now to 3rd position. That is the lap car of Greg Sachs, the 29, the reason for our first caution. He is 3 laps down. Jerry has more on Greg Sachs.
I just talked to Bill Engel and took the car back in the garage here. They have since fixed it. He's back on the racetrack. But Engel told me that that's a brand new race car. They just finished on Wednesday prior to coming here Wednesday night. And the spring perch and the left rear broke off. That allowed the the left rear coil spring to come out. Simply a problem with maybe the welding or whatever, but it broke. They have fixed it, and he is back in the racetrack.
3 wide down through the backstretch again. Let's see how this sorts out as they head for the banking.
Looks like they're still 3 abreast. Yes, they are.
Good shot from Ted Musgrave's Prime Star Family Channel Ford. That's Jimmy Spencer right now.
And they're still going to be 3 abreast. Wow.
And from Mark Martin's perspective, he's at the 13th after starting in the rear of the field.
Going for the lead.
Michael Waltrip.
Sterling Marlin going for the lead, going in turn 3. Man, is that thing strong. That Kodak film Chevrolet is so strong. And meanwhile, Earnhardt is going to tag along and blow by Jeff Gordon.
And probably Dale Jarrett will come along too. John Andretti trying to catch up to the group. Andretti with a strong performance here in the early going as Earnhardt and Gordon are side by side through the tri-oval. Bill Weber has more on this great run from the Morgan McClure team and Sterling Marlin.
Well, they're all smiles down here in the Kodak pit. A lot of guys slapping Ron Pittman, the engine builder, on the back. But earlier when they were running in teams, you had the Yates team running together, and you had the Hendrick team running together. Well, you were going to see a new team. It was going to be McClure Childress, because the 3 and the 4 wanted to hook up, and that way they'd be their own little team to compete with these other multi-car teams. And guess what? They're going to the front. Let's go further on down pit road.
Talking about team philosophy, Hendrick's philosophy early on was to get all 3 of his cars to lead at least 1 lap. That's why we saw the 25 car make a move early prior to the caution and lead a lap. Then he backed off. The 24 came in, took 2 tires. He led a lap. Now he is comfortable. The 1 car that hasn't led is the Perry Labonte car number 5, and he is right behind Kenny Schrader. Labonte, you told Labonte, you be patient, but when you get an opportunity, go to the front and get you a lap for those 5 points.
Michael Waltrip, Citgo Ford, looking back on Ken Schrader.
Shuffle up in the lead. Dale Jarrett has been able to get by Dale Earnhardt, take over the 2nd spot. So now he talked about in the pre-race, this is the place he wanted to be. He wanted to be the meat in the sandwich between 2 Chevrolets. If Earnhardt's going to get to the front, he's got to use Dale Jarrett's Ford to do it.
Sterling Marlin leads Jarrett and Earnhardt. And Jeff Gordon. John Andretti, the top 5 here. 35 laps out of 160 have been completed. We'll be back with more live coverage of the 38th running of the traditional July 4th holiday race, the Pepsi 400 from Daytona. Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway and the Pepsi 400. Jeff Gordon has slipped back considerably here just in the last couple of laps. He got out of the draft, and he comes by back in 9th position. And up front, 5 cars running together, but still Sterling Marlin is the leader, but Dale Earnhardt is now hung out to dry, and Kenny Schrader, who we saw dropping back earlier, is now up to full speed again.
Yeah, if you were feeling sorry for Kenny Schrader, don't, because it looks like his car is running as well as anyone's now. He and Terry Labonte working their way past Dale Earnhardt, taking over 3rd and 4th spot.
And that's going to help the next pack, which is being led by John Andretti. Here he comes along with Michael Waltrip and also Jimmy Spencer and Jeff Gordon. And then behind Gordon is 2x2 Ernie Irvan and Ward Burton. Rusty Wallace and Mark Martin. Mark Martin not doing too bad for as poor a starting position as he had. He started back in 40th position and is currently up to 11th.
Could Jeff Gordon be paying because of changing 2 tires? Is 4 tires going to be the hot setup each and every pit stop? If the cars are going to run that poorly on just 2 tires and even on green flag stops, I think we'll see the team changing 4 tires.
Mark Martin currently 11th after starting in 40th position. Yesterday during qualifying, the oil pump belt broke and he was not able to turn in a qualifying performance, and so had to take a provisional to get into the field.
Here we see Mark Martin right alongside Rusty Wallace following Ernie Irvan. And there we see Ward Burton's MB&A Pontiac trying to help Rusty Wallace, Dick Trickle, Wally Donlenbach go to the front. That's the inside line. Bobby Labonte, Ted Musgrave making up the outside line along with Ernie and Mark Martin.
Here's another Napa Field summary for you. Watch for your favorite driver. Terry Labonte is on the move now, coming up to third place. Behind Sterling Marlin and Dale Jarrett. Sterling Marlin, by the way, is leading his 13th consecutive Daytona race. They call him the restrictor plate king, and he's showing it here today.
So you understand why. So Ward Burton back in 12th spot. He started in 34th. Mark Martin now in 12th spot. The 22 cars moved up another spot. Mark Martin started in 39th spot.
Jerry, what's the problem with Jeff Gordon that he's fallen back?
Well, Bob, prior to the pit stop, he had complained his car was getting loose, and they decided to come in and make a track bar adjustment on that pit stop, but they only put 2 tires on instead of 4, thinking maybe the track bar would tighten the car up. Well, the 2 tires didn't work, and the car has gotten very, very loose. Just last time by, he told crew chief Ray Evernham, it is so loose out here, it's hard to handle in the corners.
All right, so Jeff Gordon with a bit of a struggle right now, needs to come in and perhaps get another set of tires and get the handling problem corrected. Ernie Irvan comes up right behind him now. 9th and 10th, Gordon and Irvan.
Jarrett said in interviews before the race that he did not feel like his car could lead as well as some of the Chevrolets, but he felt like it would follow well. And that's one reason he's just going to stay there, and hopefully on the last lap some miracle is going to allow him to win this thing.
We'll take this shot from a blimp and show you the whole train. The last time that a driver won both races here at Daytona in February and July was Bobby Allison in 1982, and Dale Jarrett is trying to do it today. A great shot overhead as you see the whole string of cars coming through the tri-oval off of corner number 4. Boys, there's going to be some excitement at Darlington when we go there on Labor Day weekend for the Southern 500, because Dale Jarrett could win $1 million.
Going for the Winston Million. I guess the last time anyone went for that was Darrell Waltrip in about '89, I think it was.
Here's Ernie Irvan on the bottom side of the racetrack.
Trying to get by Ward Burton. Jimmy Spencer, the Smoky Joe car, has a good run going today.
Sure is. He's a former winner of this race, won his first NASCAR Winston Cup race.
Boy, Ernie is all alone down there, isn't he? Well, now Rusty's going to move down with him. Try to help him out.
Ernie Irvan running back in 10th position, and side by side for 11th is Rusty Wallace and Ward Burton. 115 laps to go here at Daytona. We hope you're enjoying your July 4th holiday weekend. We're glad you could join us here at Daytona. ESPN Speed World welcomes you live to Daytona Beach, Florida on the Pepsi 400. It is being brought to you by Quaker State, the motor oil that exceeds the highest standards for engine protection. By Pontiac, proud sponsor of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team. We are driving excitement. And by Firestone, America's tire since 1900. 7 laps have been completed, all but one car still on the lead lap of this Daytona Speed Classic.
And you see the tachometer on Kenny Schrader's car about 6,800, now down to about 6,600 RPMs. That's because of the restrictor plate. Normally we would see 8,000, 8,500. With the restrictor plate, about 6,800 RPMs is maximum they can turn without completely running out of power.
And look at him tuck right in on the back rear spoiler of Dale Earnhardt. Earnhardt is 4th, and Kenny Schrader is in 5th position. And now he takes a look to the inside of Dale as Dale drifts up on the racetrack just a little bit.
Looks like when Schrader went in the corner behind Earnhardt, that Earnhardt's car became just a little bit loose. He had to go up the bank of the racetrack to catch the back end. And for a moment, looked like Schrader might go by.
Look at the 6th place car there. Michael Waltrip, car number 21, the Citgo Ford, in a good run. Jerry Punch has more.
Well, Bob, how about the run for that Citgo Ford, driving for the winningest car owners in Daytona International Speedway history? The Wood brothers have won 12 times here, but they haven't won since this race in 1983. Michael started back in 23rd spot, has picked his way all the way to 6th, somewhat reminiscent of what happened in Talladega in May, where he started 31st, went all the way to the front to lead that race and had a shot to win it with 5 laps to go. Ended up registering his best career finish thus far in Winston Cup racing, a 5th on a super speedway.
Michael was pretty pumped after he qualified yesterday. Here's the 2nd pack. It is still John Andretti at the front of it with Ward Burton, Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin following, along with Ted Musgrave. And Musgrave is running 15th at the moment.
Musgrave had started in 38th spot. His teammates started 39th, and here they are, bumper to bumper for about 11th spot.
Ted Musgrave started 38th, was up to 22nd by lap 24, and has now moved up to 15. Look at that dicing going on as Mark Martin heads to the inside of Rusty Wallace, a move that pays off.
Rusty Wallace was caught on the inside. He tried to dive between the Ward Burton car and Mark Martin, and Mark just turned left and tried to go around him. You see Derek Coates, the Badcock car, pulled up on the back to help Rusty Wallace.
Good run for Derek so far, and Jeff Gordon is fighting to get up there and mix it up with his teammates up front once again.
Trying to go by Michael Waltrip. That did not work, as Michael on the bottom of the racetrack just drives away. Look how much better, how much faster the bottom was than the top of the racetrack. Meanwhile, Spencer and Irvin trying to get hooked up so they can go by the 24-car pole sitter, Jeff Gordon.
Only one car not on the lead lap. That is Greg Sachs, who lost a rear spring out of the car a while ago, causing our only caution of the race so far. He's back in last position, 4 laps down, but everybody else, the other 41, are mixing it up and on the lead lap.
Now Mark Martin has gone on the outside to pass the 22 car of Ward Burton.
And that 2nd pack is catching up to the leaders. Here's another Napa Field summary. The numbers in parentheses indicate where they started. So you can see that Michael Waltrip from 23rd to 6th and Spencer from 27th to 8th. The 94 car of Bill Elliott is coming in for a pit stop. The McDonald's Ford has arrived at his assigned area. John Kernan is there. They're raising the hood.
The problem is overheating for Bill Elliott. The team just told me that the temperature gauge was just reading 250 degrees, so they've shut the engine down. Apparently a problem for Bill Elliott, overheating, so they've looks like it could be terminal as the hood is still up and the engine is off.
The field comes by, and he loses a lap. There are other people out there that are also having problems, and Hut Strickland is certainly among those. He is back in the 40th position. And John, what's his problem?
Well, before that pit stop, remember, Bob, I told you Hut had said he lost power all of a sudden, and then he switched ignitions, and it seemed to pick back up. Well, that problem now is he's told Felipe Lopez, his crew chief, that the car has lost something. In other words, something amiss in the engine for Hut Strickland.
Okay, so Hut is struggling a bit. He's just out there for a what we would normally call a Sunday drive. Today we'll call it a Saturday, a holiday drive. Are up in the lead draft, and then just a little bit of racetrack back to the 2nd group. Sterling Marlin continuing to lead the race. Dale Earnhardt again heads for the high side of the racetrack, and here comes Kenny Schrader and Michael Waltrip below him. Waltrip's in car.
So he and Kenny Schrader and Ernie Irvin now. Michael Waltrip pulls out. So I think I'll go with Earnhardt. Kenny, sorry. He looks like he has a faster car. Michael, did you make the right choice or the wrong choice?
We're going to see here. home to the bottom.
And look at Spencer. He has got that high groove working. And he blows by Jeff Gordon. Derek Cope is going to go with Spencer. Ernie Irvin diving to the inside of Schrader. And once again, it's like something happens to Schrader's car coming off that second corner sometimes. Like he has to get out of the throttle and cars just go blowing by. That's the second time it's happened.
It's happened a couple of times, and it's really unexplained because at other times the car is very fast, staying up with the leaders. But then occasionally he drops back. Just a little over 100 laps to go in this race. Sterling Marlin. The Kodak Film Chevrolet is leading over Dale Jarrett, Terry Labonte, Dale Earnhardt, and Michael Waltrip. We'll be back with more live coverage from Daytona in a moment. We are back at Daytona International Speedway, and we're riding with
Clear
source car, and we're listening to his radio conversation. That, of course, is Loy Allen. He's running 21st.
That 77 might be smoking.
Watch this 77 car. He's smoking hard. He's up against the outside retaining wall. Look how high that Bobby
Got one
Dillon
looking underneath. You're clear. He's under you. He's under you. Just hold your line outside. Hold your line outside.
Wow.
He's still there. He's still there.
He's talking about the 11 car, Brett Bodine.
Brett Bodine, the Lowe's home improvement car, going by Loy Allen. Announced yesterday that Richard Childress was going to start a...
A miracle save.
There you go. You're all clear. You're all clear. He messed everybody up.
Man, oh man. That was Cal Lawson. Now we see some smoke. There's the smoke out of the right rear of Bobby Hillen's car.
Yep.
Is that the tire rubbing the fender, or is that the overflow, the radiator overflow? I'm not sure. And I guess Hillen was trying to go to the pits and ran in front. Yeah, there we see him. They're waiting for Hillen to come in. He was trying to get in the pits when Brett Bodine was going by.
Well, we'll leave that race to itself for the moment and go back up front to show you that 6 cars are in the lead draft, and the 4 car of Sterling Marlin continues to lead, and he has led all but 8 laps so far in this race with 100 circuits to go. 60 are complete. Dale Jarrett second, then Terry Labonte, Dale Earnhardt, Michael Waltrip, and Ernie Irvin.
Some of the drivers following Bobby Hillen in the 77 cars reported, and here comes Hillen down pit road. And Bill Weber, he's coming to you with some kind of problem.
Benny, that would be an overheating problem. Bobby Hillen radioed in overheating, so he's making his long crawl down the pit road. He's all the way at the turn 1 into pit road, so he pulls in. The car's smoking heavily from the right side, and they're going to see if they can't cool it off a little bit. And in the meantime, he's going to get some tires and some fuel. But Bobby Hillen battling an overheating problem. The spraying water on the front of the grill, trying to cool off the car. Still trying to change the tires, trying to pour some water into there to cool off this car, but it's not working out so well.
Bill Elliott went back out on the racetrack for a few laps, but he's in again now, John.
Well, Mike Beam thought that they had fixed the problem. What they did is they cooled the car down, but now the water hose comes back out. The car definitely overheating again. They actually cut a couple of holes. In fact, they're doing some more alterations to the nose of the car to get a little more air, try to get a little more air into the radiator. They also had to change an inline oil filter, but the crew going to work right now as Elliott's car is still overheating.
Two-time winner of the Pepsi 400, Bill Elliott, making his return to racing, but it's not very successful here at Daytona. Another car having problems is Derek Cope as he's down off the banking.
Yes, he's slowed dramatically going in the first corner and is slow all the way around the racetrack. It looks like the car is under power. I don't know if it's a lost cylinder, a flat tire, or exactly what the problem is, but bad news for the backstop car.
This is the battle for 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. John Andretti and Jimmy Spencer are wheel to wheel through the 31 degrees of banking. Also in this fight, Wally Dallenbach, Jeff Gordon, and Rusty Wallace. Wally Dallenbach had a great run here at Daytona in February. Here's a replay. That's when Hillen appeared to be trying to go to the pits.
Yeah, he was trying to get to the pits and turned down right in front of Brett Bodine, made contact, and Hillen, I thought, was going to spin right directly in front of the entire field. Did not, did a great job, and did make a pit stop, tried to put some water in the car. 12 car of Derek Cope, meanwhile, has made his way to pit road. They're working on the car. Jerry Punch, what's going on down there?
Well, Benny, the engine was not running when it came to a rest, and its news is not good for the Badcock Home Furnishings Ford Thunderbird. Apparently an internal problem with the engine. They lost a cylinder initially, then it got worse and worse. He just shut it off, and they're going to push it back to the garage area and retire it for today.
Tough break for Derek Cope as the car is back of the wall into the garage area. Here's Bobby Hamilton and Rusty Wallace.
And Hamilton just blew by Rusty Wallace. Remember, Rusty Wallace a few moments ago was running up there with Spencer, Gordon, Dallenbach, and now he's lost a few spots. And, folks, you see the 43 car, the SDP Pontiac of Bobby Hamilton. That's how Richard Petty used to run the Daytona International Speedway.
I was going to ask you, does he teach Bobby to run the way too? He's right up against the wall. Always said that you hit it less hard when you're way up there against it.
Oh, if he hits the wall, he'll just scrape the wall. He certainly will not have enough momentum to get started. Meanwhile, now the 10 car's in, and look, it's overheated.
Yep.
The same spot.
Hey, Sterling Marlin is off the pace. He's off the pace.
No, something is wrong with the car because they pitted on lap 26. That was only 40 laps ago. Something is definitely wrong with the Kodak Film Chevrolet.
He watches as the line goes by, Bill.
Well, he's got a motor problem. They're talking to him now, trying to decide if he should bring it down here to pit road or take it back to the garage. But the early indication that is similar to what happened here in February, Sterling Marlin may have lost the motor.
Oh, man, and he was far superior, at least in the first 66 laps. He had led all but 8 of them until he dropped down off the banking and slowed. So Dale Jarrett now picks up the lead with Terry Labonte second.
Well, I tell you, we have done ourselves a horse race now because the dominant car after the first 65 laps, as a matter of fact, the car who led, what, 58 of the first 65 or 57 of the first 65, he's gone. Now who's going to step forward and be the dominant car?
That's a good question. It could be any of these 5 or 6 or somebody else. Michael Waltrip and Ernie Irvin are at the back of this group. Well, it looks like that Sterling is back up to speed.
I bet something happened to the ignition. He has changed ignition boxes and is now back up to speed. Bill Weber, what do you think?
That's why you're up there, Benny. That's exactly right. That's exactly what it was. At first they thought it was the motor. Then it turned out to be the ignition. He switched boxes, and now we'll see if he can climb his way back to the front again.
Meanwhile, Lake Speed, who started this restart in second spot or something, is in the pits. Remember, he changed 2 tires. Evidently, that was definitely not the way to go because now he's in for 4 tires.
He had fallen back to 22nd position, and now Lake Speed comes in for a change. Sterling Marlin, meanwhile, during that little problem with the ignition, dropped all the way back to 16th. We'll watch him fight his way through the field once again. Welcome back to Daytona and the Pepsi 400. You'll have more baseball telecasts at home than you've ever had before when you purchase Major League Baseball Extra Innings. With hundreds of telecasts from outside your area, call DirecTV or Prime Star to subscribe to Major League Baseball Extra Innings. Rusty Wallace is making a pit stop and relinquishing the 15th position. The Miller Ford comes in and the crew goes to work.
Well, he had fallen back 5 or 6 spots. So I guess he decided that, hey, Jerry Punch, what are they doing down there?
Well, Bob, they have an overheating problem. Apparently, Bob and Vinny, they were trying to pull some of the rubber out of the grill. The entire front of the grill was matted with rubber. Now Robin Pemberton puts his hand across the front grill and will change all 4 tires. Unfortunately, Rusty's bad luck at the beach continues. He is down and away, but the temperature is showing much more than I'd like to see right now.
So that's what's happening with these cars. They're getting the grills plugged up with rubber and overheating. Meanwhile, Ernie Irvin trying to go by Dale Earnhardt to take over the 3rd spot. He has Michael Waltrip to go with him. Earnhardt has the 25 car of Schrader, but Michael slides up between those 2 cars, and I'm afraid Ernie's in trouble.
And then the 18 car of Bobby Labonte has also gone behind the wall, and the report is that he burned a piston.
And Ernie Irvin once again.
Schrader's going to come to the bottom. Passes Michael Waltrip.
Looks like these cars are getting to the point right now that they are having some trouble handling in the turns.
And we also understand that there are some light sprinkles falling on the racetrack again.
Oh, now look at Schrader.
And look at Ted Musgrave.
Ted Musgrave go blowing by.
Man, he was way down, almost with the left side tires below the line, but came back up in single file. We're only 7 laps away from the halfway point of this race.
Now here comes Sterling Marlin. The 4 car has fought his way back through these fields, and now he's back up to 12th spot. He's gained 4th, but he's in a group where he can gain 5 or 6 spots in just a couple of laps.
He goes to the bottom of the racetrack to try to pass Mark Martin.
There's Dave Martin slow on the bottom of the racetrack, but I think he'll move over and let Sterling go by without too much problem. Yes, he did. There we see a few raindrops on our camera lens.
Yep.
There's our pole sitter, Jeff Gordon, the DuPont Automotive Finishes car, and he now is back in 13th spot.
Up another spot. Jeff goes to 11th. Jimmy Spencer right on his rear wing. There's Sterling up to 8th position. And the AutoZone on-track interval. Now that he's got that ignition problem figured out, he is on the charge. Look at the laps he's turning compared to Dale Jarrett, the leader of the race, and he's cut the interval from 4.6 seconds on lap 69 to just 2.3 seconds on lap 73.
Well, he's cut the interval exactly in half in just 5 laps. So Sterling Marlin, yeah, we don't count him out because he certainly can win the Pepsi 400.
And Jerry is with Bobby Labonte.
Well, Bobby has climbed out of the Interstate Battery Chevrolet. Bobby, they're working behind the, what happened?
I believe it burned a piston. Looked like there's a lot of aluminum on the spark plug on the right side cylinder. So I don't know. We're going to look at it, see what we can do. Get the Interstate Battery Chevrolet out there for points.
All right, Bobby Labonte currently 13th in the points, just 12 out of 12th place, and this DNF would really hurt him, Bob.
Yeah, it sure would. We hope that Bobby can get back in the race. They're the top 4. Earnhardt using a much higher line than everybody else.
Yeah, it looks like the car is starting to slip, and it's been 50 laps now since these cars treated and changed tires, so they are going to need. We see Sterling Marlin moved up to 6th spot, just 1.32 seconds behind Dale Jarrett. Now 1.17, getting closer and closer.
And that's what 1.7 relates to on the racetrack. You saw the interval there. Jarrett up front, and there is Sterling Marlin back in 6th position behind Michael Waltrip. That completes lap number 77. We're 3 laps away from the halfway point, and we have to mention that because it has been threatening rain and, in fact, is sprinkling at the moment. Now it's less than a second interval between Marlin and Jarrett, the leader. Bill?
Well, it's a real charge to get to halfway. A lot of guys trying to figure out fuel mileage. I think some of these guys were going to stop a few laps ago. Then it started sprinkling just a little bit. They stayed out on the track. And the caution flag has just come out, guys. Caution on the Speedway.
It's probably because of rain. They'll come down to complete lap 78, too shy of the halfway mark.
And Dale Jarrett will come by, and he will, in fact, take the halfway point. If you know what, Bob, if it rains.
Yeah. Well, now Now, we got 2 more laps to go before the halfway point. Actually, 3 before it's an official race. But Dale Jarrett is the leader at this point.
But is he going to dive in the pits?
Good question.
Is he going to dive in the pits? And does these teams have enough fuel to run 3 or 4 more laps, even on the caution flag?
But if they come in and the race for some reason, and I don't think it's going to be, but if it is postponed the rest of the way by rain, they'd be giving up a possible victory. Well, let's see what happens. The pace car has picked them up. And Jerry Punch, what do you think? What are they saying down there?
Well, Bob, they don't have much choice according to calculations. I'm down here in the Hendrick pits. I walked over to the Citgo pits of Michael Waltrip. They pitted on lap 26. By their fuel calculations, lap 78 to 81 is all they could go, and it's going to be on fumes at lap 80. If they try to make it past that, they're going to have to push it back, so they're going to have to come in and put fuel in these cars.
All right, this will be the completion of lap 79 when they come around, and so we will undoubtedly see a lot of activity on pit road this time.
I think the sky is light enough that they'll pit, Bob, because even if there are sprinkles, I think we'll be able to get this race restarted. But again, it looks like the sprinkles have stopped right now.
Yeah, it's kind of an off and on thing, but it is not, the sky is not black so as to indicate a major storm coming that would really wet things down. It's just a sprinkle that passes over now and then. Let's watch the field come off of corner number 4 and onto the straightaway, and there is an indication of how much it's raining from Ted Musgrave's onboard camera.
There certainly are a few raindrops on that lens. Let's see. We'll clean the lens. All the cars are going in the pits.
Yep.
They've all decided to pit, even at the halfway point.
All those on the lead lap are coming in. Jarrett, Labonte, Earnhardt, Irvin. Let's go to Jerry Punch.
88, 5, and 3 on your screen. You're watching a Ford and 2 Chevrolets. Right side tires going on. You expect a 4 tire change in all 3 of these cars. Right side tires going on the 5 car. You step around the left side of the car. Still on the right side on the 88 and the 3 car. Now left side on the Earnhardt car. Likewise, left side on the Kellogg crew, getting further up the road. And Jerry Labonte off the gas, being down and away, and now it'll be a race to the end of pit road.
Michael Waltrip.
Yeah.
Michael Waltrip was the first car off pit road, evidently only changing 2 tires. If the Citgo crew changed 4, boy, they did it awfully fast.
Yeah,
and what a tough break this was for Rusty Wallace and Lake Speed. Remember, we saw them make their pit stops, and now they are laps down.
Rusty going down a lap, also Lake Speed down a lap, and Kyle Petty has also lost a lap, so 29 cars now on the lead lap as we're still under caution, but next time around they will get the halfway signal, and Ward Burton, who was having a very good run running up front. In fact, he was in 11th position, now goes behind the wall. They're going to try to figure out what's wrong with that car. From high overhead Daytona International Speedway, we welcome you back to the Pepsi 400. We'll be going green in less than half a lap and providing today's shots. From high above is the Goodyear blimp Stars and Stripes. And at the controls today is pilot Dan Thomas from Portage, Wisconsin. Dan, thanks to you and the crew for your overhead shots. And again, the blimp looks a little bit different these days because it's being prepared for the upcoming Olympic Games in Atlanta, Georgia. Getting set for green.
Loyal and Rusty Wallace.
Cars down. Get ready. Green flag.
Rusty, Loy Allen, Lake Speed laps down to the leader of the race. The red car on the outside, Michael Waltrip to 21.
Loy Allen and Ricky Rudd are off sequence as far as pit stops are concerned. They're tailing the lead lap.
I'm sorry, that was Ricky Rudd in the lead car. Michael is behind Rudd. I tell you what, it's not the place to be, it doesn't appear.
Yeah, Michael's got a real problem right now. He is hemmed in with no place to go. Here comes somebody. That's Jarrett, isn't it?
Looks like Jarrett trying to get by. They're going to make it
at least 3 wide.
And Sterling Marlin goes by on the outside, and Rudd goes up the hill.
Does he go up the hill?
And Michael Waltrip and Earnhardt are able to get by, and he pulls up the hill in front of Sterling Marlin, impeded his progress.
Yep. So Lake Speed now going another lap down, and and Rusty Wallace is about to go a lap down.
There's a $10,000 Gatorade Front Runner Award that goes to the leader of the race at the halfway point.
But it has to be under green, and 5 laps have to be under green. We were under caution at the halfway point, and so the leader at the end of 5 laps under green here, it will be lap 87 in which the bonus will be awarded. Here's Jerry Punch.
Ward, work continuing on your MBLA Pontiac. What happened?
I think we broke a drive shaft taking off from pit road. Man, we just can't buy a brake right now. The car's running pretty good. We had an air push coming out of the corners. Hadn't meant for that, it could have gone straight for the front. But we've done pretty good from where we started at, and I was hoping for a top 10, but we'll get them next week.
So try to get back in?
Yeah, we'll get back in, but of course, so many laps down. We're just out there trying to learn a little bit.
That's Ward Burton trying to get that Pontiac back on the racetrack.
Ooh, Schrader is going by Bodine on the outside, and Bodine is already up there. And Lloyd Allen blows by on the inside, and Jeff Bodine, the QBC car.
He's outside.
Lloyd Allen's spotter telling him that Schrader was on the outside. Here comes Garland back.
Making it 3 wide.
One underneath you. He's there. You're okay. You're okay. You're clear. Outside. Outside.
Now here comes Jimmy Spencer alongside Wally.
Still outside. Still outside. He's inside outside. You got your sailing.
Jeff Gordon has
still there.
Ken Schrader with him now.
Inside outside.
Clear low. Clear low. Clear high and low. He's underneath you. He's underneath you. Don't get frustrated. Just be patient with it. You'll be okay.
There goes for the lead. Earnhardt on the outside of Michael Waltrip. Michael comes back. Michael has leg speed behind him. It looks like Earnhardt's going to have Dale Jarrett in just a moment.
Man, that's awful tight traffic coming out of there. Whoa. Michael Waltrip hangs on to the lead. Good job.
And one more lap will decide the halfway money, and here comes Sterling Marlin.
Sterling Marlin would like to win that 10 grand. He comes up on Rusty Wallace very quickly on the inside. Now gets up on the outer groove, and I wouldn't doubt but what Sterling Marlin can get the lead here.
Look at this. Just drive under Rusty Wallace and Michael Waltrip, and there goes Sterling Marlin. Wow.
Unbelievable. An ignition problem has been solved. Sterling Marlin has put himself back at the front of the field and is just as strong as he ever was. Looking back on Dale Earnhardt, who hasn't led a lap yet and would love to get those 5 bonus points. They're very important to the run for the championship. Let's see how they cross the line at the Gatorade payoff window. It's Marlin.
By a landslide, by 20 car lengths.
Yep. Sterling Marlin.
Well, this Kodak camp is definitely Sterling's cheering section. In fact, that lap, while they were going down the backstretch, Tony Glover checked with the NASCAR official. Is this the lap for halfway? He goes, this is the lap. He got on the radio, and Sterling shot up there and picked up that paycheck last time across the line. They're having a great day down here. They're real optimistic, and they have good reason why.
Yeah, they do have a great reason. Meanwhile, Rusty Wallace not having such a good day. He's a lap down, and the meat and the sandwich.
Yes, he is. He's got problems on both sides of him. And you would have to mention food.
Nice 5-mile slack down.
Dale Earnhardt still up in that high groove back of Michael Waltrip. Let's take a look at the Busch race recap as they come down the backstretch. And maybe some contact there between Earnhardt and Michael Waltrip. Anyway, Earnhardt is second, and look at him close up on Marlin.
Wow. I said, told Dale, well, okay, you blew the 10 grand, but it's time to go. We're going to lead a lap because we need those 5 bonus points.
And Schrader and Ted Musgrave are side by side while Jeff Gordon looks on. Looks like Kenny may be where he shouldn't be. This is from Schrader's in-car. He's going to get some help from Jimmy Spencer down on the low side.
Jimmy Spencer, Mark Martin, and is that Dale Jarrett all the way back in about
11th position?
Spot.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, and we speculated that there was some contact between Michael Waltrip and Dale Earnhardt. Was there? Let's see. Boom.
Uh-huh. I think we can say that that's a definite maybe.
Yeah, I think so too. Jarrett down on the low side now, trying to get by Mark Martin. There goes Dick Trickle, who's having a good run. He's 15th. Lake Speed a lap down in 30th position. There are 29 cars that are still on the lead lap, and we are past the halfway point. It's Marlin, Earnhardt, Terry Labonte, Michael Waltrip, and Ted Musgrave up front. Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker State, the motor oil that exceeds the highest standards for engine protection.
In stock car racing, one of the biggest concerns has always been something coming off the racetrack and going through the windshield. That's why the cars use Lexan or bulletproof glass. Now at Talladega just a couple months ago, there's a bigger concern. Something larger may go through the windshield. Look at the cars that drive under Ricky Craven's car while it's in the air. That's why Hendrick Motorsports took a look at the way they build cars.
Obviously, if it weren't for the NASCAR mandated roll cage, Ricky Craven could have been seriously injured or worse from that horrific crash. Well, here at Hendrick Motorsports are taking the roll cage idea one step further. Let me show you. You're looking at the first of its kind, a windshield roll bar. A bar actually placed behind the midpoint of the windshield to help maintain the integrity of the front of the roll cage. This bar is supposed to provide protection for the driver if a tire were to come in, or even a car like Craven's were to get airborne and try to come down on the front of this car. That bar would prevent any intrusion into the cage. And word is this bar could become mandatory in 1997. Well, the same concept being used for the door bars on the driver's side of the car. Ordinarily, there are 4 door bars horizontally. The last one stopping about right here. Here at Hendrick Motorsports, they've added a 5th bar on top of that one to provide some integrity to the top of the door on the driver's side. With just 4 bars there, a tire could come and peel that in and maybe get into the driver. With the 5th bar in place, the window size is still the same size opening, but it's completely supported all the way to the top, so a tire couldn't get through here to possibly injure a driver. Safety always first here in NASCAR.
Nice suspenders, Doc, and nice information there in the track pack. Every time I see that Ricky Craven crash, I cringe a little more. That was unbelievable. These guys, meanwhile, have been racing like crazy. 95 laps are completed. Bill, why are they still going at it tooth and nail so hard?
Well, Bob, look at the sky. These guys right now clearly racing the weather. They were racing to get to halfway. We saw it last week at the truck race at Nazareth. The race really took off after that halfway break, and that's exactly what's going on here. The 3 car would desperately like to lead a lap, and the 4 would like to help them out, but they don't want to get caught in the wrong position. The 4 bunch, when the rain comes, they're watching for rain, racing hard at the front, and Jerry Punch has more on the weather situation.
Well, if you're a stock car fan, you may not want to see this, but let me show you it anyway. Here's the weather radar. Now, here is Daytona Beach right in the middle of that picture. Look to the west of us. All that red and yellow that's flashing. Folks, that is horrendous thunderstorms, and it is moving east-northeast. Now, the prediction is, according to watching this move, that somewhere within the next 16 to 18 minutes, unless this were to go directly north, and it is starting to move north a little bit, but if it continues east, in about 16 minutes from now, we are going to get some serious rain.
Well, the good news is that we got this race in because we are past the halfway point, and that's a miracle. The 88 car is in 12th position. Dale Jarrett. Here's John Kernan.
Dale Jarrett has fallen back. Remember, he was leading whenever the caution came out for the last little bit of rain, but now the car has developed a push. He goes into the turns. The front end just wants to go up toward the wall, so Dale Jarrett has a handful right now. They're hoping that maybe they can get a caution, make an adjustment, get him back out there and finish this race to at least all 400 miles, so then they might have a chance. They don't like that news about the rain coming in about 15 to 18 minutes.
Well, of course, Dale Jarrett is fourth going into this race in terms of the point standings. The top three are all in this little group of cars. Dale Earnhardt, number 3, the leader in points. Terry Labonte, number 5, second in points. And Jeff Gordon is third in the points. And he's right now running in 5th position. And the Hendrick cars are lined up in a row.
Yeah, the Hendrick cars are lined up 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So there goes Labonte down on the inside. That means that it should be Schrader and Jeff Gordon signal go with Labonte. Schrader's down there. The 25 car is there with him. Now the 24 car, he's going to tag on to his teammates.
Looked there like for a while he was going to go up high and join Earnhardt, but he comes down to the bottom and joins Terry and Schrader. Terry Labonte has not led a lap. He wants the 5 bonus points. Just 15 behind Dale Earnhardt coming into this race. And there you see the completion of the Napa field summary with just 1 car officially out of the race, and that is Derek Cope. Well, they're not making much progress here, BP. Uh-oh. A near crash. John Andretti, it looked like, got in trouble.
Oh, now we do have a crash.
It's Dick Trickle.
Down on the bottom.
Spinning on the bottom of the racetrack.
He's going back up. You're clear. You're clear. Come on to the strike. Come on to the strike. Come on, baby. Come on. Spotted the tires, I think.
Not nearly as bad as it could have been, Benny.
No. And Dick Trickle's car is still moving.
I think maybe Greg Skaggs got the worst of that, and it looked like that Rusty Wallace was also, if not involved, close to being. There's Kenny Wallace.
We can see Kenny Wallace where he's drugged the nose. And here we come. The battle for 3rd place coming down to the line in case it should rain.
Here it is. I think Jeff. I'm not sure, though.
Look, there's 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th all right together.
Yep.
But Sterling Marlin did win the race back. Terry Labonte was in 2nd.
And a caution comes out because of the crash down in turn number 1. But really, its makings were much before that. Let's take a look.
There we see. There is Dale Jarrett on the inside. The 37 car, John Andretti in the middle, and Trickle. Now we see Andretti and the 88 car make some contact, and Trickle gets forced into the wall pretty strong, and then they go down in the corner, and the Trickle's going to go down the racetrack and make contact with the 33 car of Preston, the green car on the bottom. Right there, they make contact, and look at Ernie Irvin in the back of the 33 car, but they continue on. Now the 29 car is going to come in here someplace. There he is. He goes up, he turns right, and he's going to hit the 81 car of Kenny Wallace, and here comes Rusty Wallace. Is he going to make contact with the 29?
If he didn't, he came awfully close.
Looks like he missed him.
Yep, he may have. All right, so it's our first real crash of the day, and it really, as I said, wasn't as bad as it could have been because it was in heavy, heavy traffic. There's a contact between Sachs and Trickle.
And Sachs and the 81 car, Kenny Wallace.
Yep.
And Kenny Wallace, a moment ago, let's see, Musgrave is going in the pits. A moment ago down the front stretch, Kenny Wallace, all of a sudden, look, the right rear tire just blew all to pieces, and he just says, hey, I'm going across the grass. And turned, and across the grass he went.
Wow. All right, Ted Musgrave comes in for a pit stop. He's giving up his 6th position that he was in. Dale Jarrett is also in, but those who are running at the front of the field stayed out. Here's John.
It's a 4-tire change for Dale Jarrett. Remember, I told you they had developed a push and would like to have a caution to fix it. Well, they had made a track bar adjustment to loosen the car up and also put on 4 fresh tires and filled it up with Unocal gasoline.
Musgrave goes out.
Musgrave must have just put gasoline in the car, or just 2 tires.
It was a quick one. Joe Nemechek comes out. They're still working on John Andretti's car, and we understand that the rain is only about 5 miles away.
They must have just put gasoline in the car, or just 2 tires.
It was a quick one. Joe Nemechek comes out. They're still working on John Andretti's car, and we understand that the rain is only about 5 miles away. Will we go back to green? That's the question right now. We're going to take another break. We completed 101 of 160 laps here at Daytona. It's Sterling Marlin leading under caution. The third caution of the race is out over Daytona International Speedway in this Pepsi 400, a 4th of July holiday weekend tradition. Rain delayed greatly this morning, about 3 hours late in starting. We're cautioned because of an incident which occurred. Actually, it started in the tri-oval and ended up developing down in turn number 1. Let's watch Loy Allen drive through it.
Wow.
Loy saw the initial contact here and dropped down on the apron of the track saying, I'm going to get out of this situation, and he did.
And we saw the contact between Dale Jarrett and the 37 car of John Andretti, and then he made contact with Dick Trickle, and then Trickle goes down the corner, makes contact with the 33 car. And here is the line, the race for the line for third spot. There's the leader, Sterling Marlin, the orange car on the very left. The 5, the yellow and white, is Terry Labonte. And here comes the battle for the lead. On the right, Jeff Gordon. In the middle, Kenny Schrader. And Dale Earnhardt on the outside. And Musgrave said, which one do I go with?
And also Michael Waltrip.
So who won?
I don't know that we ever determined that. I think Jeff Gordon did by just an inch or two. We're just about ready to go back to the green flag. We will next time when we come back to Daytona. We have just gone green. They've completed less than a half a lap. Now, the storm, we understand, is about 2.5 miles away. So this could be a trophy dash. Watch up front, because whoever makes a move here could end up as a winner of the race. But is anybody going to be able to make a move on Sterling Marlin, who's been so strong today?
It doesn't appear as though they will be able to, Bob. The 3 Hendrick cars might be able to join up and get by Sterling Marlin. It will take all 3 of them, it looks like, to get by.
Positions being shuffled here.
Michael Waltrip, Wally Darling-Back, and Mark Martin, the first 3 Fords. That is 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Bill Elliott has gotten out of his car. Let's go to John Kernan.
Derek Cope has gotten in. Bill, do you feel okay?
I feel good. We were done down some laps and there was no need going on. You know, I told Mike if I could find somebody to get in, go ahead and get in. You know, it's a pretty hot day and just kind of get used to everything. And we really didn't have anything to lose, and I had a lot to lose if something were to happen, were to hit the wall or something like that. And the car just ran extremely hot at the first race. It got like 260, lost the water, came in, and we just had kind of a bad start. I felt like a car would have ran well. You know, McDonald's, Ford race, everybody's done a great job, and you know, just one of them days. You know, we'll go to New Hampshire next week. We'll keep it better.
All right, Bill Elliott out of the car for now. Derek Cope's in it. He's already looking forward to next week.
Good to see Bill back in a car. We had some contact there, Benny, that scared me for a minute. Loy Allen and rusty Ricky Rudd, I think, got tangled up there for a moment.
Yep, Loy Allen now is in the middle of the 3 cars coming off the corner, but all the cars were able to get by.
5-car lead draft as they've broken away. If points were awarded right now, look at this. Earnhardt and Terry Labonte would be tied for the points lead, and wow. Sterling Marlin would move up a position to 5th in the point standings. How about that?
That is pretty doggone close, isn't it? And we see that Jeff Gordon would be then 32 points. 32 points.
Schrader would move up a position, Rudd down 2, Martin up 1, Musgrave up 1, and Wallace down 2 to complete the top 10. That's if the points were awarded right now. Well, the storm is getting closer and closer. Now just about a mile away from the speedway, and the drivers are all aware of that. They can see the black skies. They've got the same information that we're working from, and everybody is trying to pick up a position and go to the front. There's Rusty Wallace with Loy Allen and the 99 of Jeff Burton.
Still outside.
All those cars going by the 10 car, and that was for position. All those cars 1 lap down. Meanwhile, here's the battle for the lead, the first 5 cars.
It's still Marlin, Labonte, Gordon, Schrader, and Earnhardt.
And And the second pack of cars, that's 4 Fords, Michael Waltrip, Wally Dallenbach, and the 2 Roush cars, Ted Musgrave and Mark Martin, trying their best to chase down those first 5 cars, which all are Chevrolets.
The Goodyear blimp is heading for the airport, and we don't blame them a bit because the storm is approaching quickly. And so the overhead shots that we've gotten from the Goodyear blimp will cease here before too long because it is headed for land. 5 cars up front with 52 laps to go, but it probably won't go that long. Now, what's going through the drivers' minds, Benny?
Right now, I think they're all just trying to figure out what can we do to get by the 4 cars. That's the problem they've got right now. Sterling Marlin is absolutely so strong that they're just trying to figure out what they can do to get by him. If he was gone, then it would be a whole entire different situation. But he isn't. He's there.
Sterling Marlin has never won a Pepsi 400. He has won the Daytona 500 twice. What about the manufacturer situation here with the race coming possibly to a conclusion? Well, you see 5 Chevys lined up there running in the first 5 positions.
A moment ago, it looked like Labonte and Gord was trying to go by Sterling Marlin on the outside on second corner. And I guess that's if the move's going to be made, it probably will be on the outside.
5 Chevys at the front, and then 5 Chevys 6 through 10.
5 Fords.
5 Fords, I should say.
The blue thing, that's a Ford.
Yeah.
The red thing, that's
the red thing is a Chevy. Okay,
yep.
I got you.
It looks like that Michael Waltrip, Dallenbach, and the other, and the Fords are gaining on the 3 car. Yes, they are.
Oh, yeah.
Dale Earnhardt.
6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, catching up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't know when the rain is going to hit. Maybe it won't, but it's certainly in the drivers' minds right now and is playing into the strategy that they have to be thinking about. However, they're going to have a pit stop in the next 20 laps if we go that long.
Schrader looks back at Dale Earnhardt. Now Ernie Irvin and the 88 car of Dale Jarrett, the 2 Jack Rouse, the 2 Robert Yates cars, now they're together trying to work their way towards the front.
We see the Robert Yates cars running together. We see the Hendrick cars running together. We see the Roush cars close together at least. And Bill has more on the Robert Yates team.
When I walked down earlier and I talked to Larry McReynolds about how Ernie Irvin was doing, and you know, Ernie said he thought he'd be stronger to the second half of the season when they started going back to tracks for a second time. I asked him how Ernie was doing. He's going. Larry says, we're doing great. The only problem is it's so hard to pass. And I said, well, is that the new 45-degree spoiler angle? He goes, that's part of it. But he goes, and listen to this, everybody's so equal. A Ford guy, everybody's equal. You need to get that on tape.
Yeah, we haven't talked about, we covered it extensively in our qualification coverage, but for those of you who weren't with us, they are using a 45-degree spoiler angle now instead of a 40 that they used during the month of February. The restrictor plate, however, remains the same.
There we see Ernie diving down, trying to get some draft off the 21 car. I think Michael Walker moved down to help Ernie Irvin because he feels like his best advantage is to get Irvin and Dale Jarrett alongside of him.
Now let's give a call to the 11 car, too, of Brett Bodine, who's running in the top 10. It has been a while since we saw Brett Bodine with as strong a performance as he has here today.
Starting 36th in Brett Bodine and then Lowe's Ford.
He's losing the sponsorship next year to the Richard Childress second team that Mike Scare will be driving for. So Brett Bodine is shopping for a sponsor and showing that he still can drive a race car here this afternoon. Here is Ted Musgrave right behind Mark Martin. 11th and 12th. Well, he's just ahead of Mark Martin now. And there is Mark's in car.
He goes by his teammate following Jimmy Spencer. They're there on the racetrack. Looks like Morgan Shepherd's got his car up to speed. He struggled the first half of the race.
And that is a different color, of course, on that 75 car. They changed from the green to the purple, and that reflects the colors of a Strand fishing line that is also, I guess, owned by Remington.
Yes, that's correct. Now we see Ernie Irvin and Dale Jarrett going by Michael Waltrip on the inside, taking over that 6th spot. Here comes Brett Bodine, and he does have that low sport on the move.
He sure does, looking good, but the Robert Yates drivers have teamed up to draft by Michael Waltrip, and now they set their sights on the top 5, the top 5 draft. Here's a Fran Field summary with 114 laps completed. Dallenbach, Martin, Musgrave, Jeff Burton, Morgan Shepherd, all running in this group. The furthest anyone has ever come from starting position to win this race was Bill Elliott, who came from 38th. Ted Musgrave started in 38th today, and for a while he was up in the top 5, but now he's 14th. And Jerry, what's the weather looking like?
Well, Bob, Terry Labonte's spotter just said it's raining on the interstate on I-95, which is about maybe 300 yards from turn 1 here at the Speedway. And apparently we are getting some sprinkles in the grandstand, but the heavy rain is about 300 to 400 yards west of the Speedway, about I-95, headed right for us.
And so we may be approaching possibility of the final stage of this race, but of course NASCAR will make every effort to get all 160 laps in. Although it is drawing late in the afternoon, now almost 10 minutes before 4 Eastern time, and Jeff Gordon is trying to work on his teammate Terry Labonte for second.
Well, I tell you what, it was very, very close. Now those 3 cars, if they can get hooked up. Now, Ernie Irvin has caught Earnhardt along with Dale Jarrett. So the Fords are at the very tail end of this lead pack, and there goes Earnhardt by the 4th place car on Kenny Schrader. And we're coming back to the line. Caution flag is out, probably because of the rain.
This could be it. There is Ernie Irvin picking up a position on Ken Schrader. Here they come off of the 4th corner onto the tri-oval. Terry Labonte looks to the inside. It's going to be Sterling Marlin winning the race to the caution with Labonte, Gordon, Earnhardt, and Ernie Irvin the top 5. 43 laps to go as the caution comes out because of rain.
Now then, they can all make it from here. Do you think they'll pit? Do you think they'll pit now? Because if they have all got to make another pit stop. So, will they stop now?
Benny, the rain is coming down as hard now as it has since well before the beginning of this race. And they cannot stay out there very long, in my opinion, because the track is going to get very wet in a very short length of time.
Yes, I don't think these cars will pit. I think they'll stay out, and under the assumption that this race is over. We can see from the onboard camera, the health source camera, just how much rain is falling.
Well, it's been a very frustrating day for everybody, for the drivers, for the crews, for NASCAR, for us, and for you, I'm sure, as fans who woke up this morning hoping to turn on the TV at 11 o'clock and be finished with the race by early afternoon and doing other things. But we're glad you stayed with us to watch what could be the end of this race. Look how hard it is raining right now, and the crews come out with their tarps to keep their respective pit areas dry. It's raining very hard here on the tri-oval, the front stretch, so to speak. I'm not sure that the rain has reached the back stretch at this point, but look at the NASCAR official pointing to the infield.
It's Elmo.
Yeah.
Elmo is telling them we're going to stop, I guess.
Yep, we're going to pit road. And it is raining hard enough here in front of the main grandstand to halt this event.
I think this is a red flag situation. And as a matter of fact, all the teams have tarps on their pits. There's no way anybody can stop now because there's tarps out there.
Yep. We don't see a red flag, however. But
they wait until the cars go, all the cars go by the start-finish line.
Okay. Elmo is leading him down very slowly on pit road, but we are still under officially the caution flag. There it is.
As soon as those cars go by, they will put out and display the red flag.
Looks like they're going to stop just shy of the start-finish line. And everybody's scrambling for cover and to get their pit areas covered up. Keep them as dry as they possibly can.
Because those guys look like they're carrying the Olympic torch, don't they? Hustling down there to put that cover. The torch is coming through Daytona.
Yeah, it is. Yep. They've selected the individuals who will carry it through here while we have an opportunity. Now, let's explain. You said that they wouldn't put out the red until the cars cross the line, and they're not going to.
Until they get all the cars stopped, and then they'll display the red flag.
All right. And they're still not quite stopped. They're still coming off of the corner and down into the pit area.
We had this situation at Bristol, and I didn't understand it, so I talked to some NASCAR officials and asked them about this situation, and they wait till all the cars are stopped to display the red.
Sterling Marlin led them to the caution flag that came out when the rain started to fall, and so he could win this race if we can't go back to green. But again, NASCAR will still try to get this thing in its entirety.
Now, what they're going to do now is they're going to have a double line. Thought they're going to have a double line, but they have stopped. Cars are still moving, trying to get everything positioned. Bill Weber, what's Tony Glover having to say?
Well, he's very reserved right now, but this has been a cheerleading section for your driver, and in recent laps for the weather. You were calling for some rain, and you got some of it.
Well, you know, we had to make a tough decision a while ago on whether to pit during the last yell, and you know, Larry and I talked about it, and we elected to stay out. It's really hard to call your driver in leading the race when it looks like it's going to rain, and maybe it'll be the right decision, maybe it won't. We'll just have to wait and see.
You really encouraged him to pedal hard, though, in those last few laps.
Well, I just do that kind of to calm me down. He's going to pedal wide open anyway.
Yeah, he scared you a little bit, too, when that ignition box went out on you.
I did, you know, because we lost the motor down here in February right after we got the lead, and the car had been just flawless all day long, and sure would have hated that to give it away like that.
And you told him not to touch any more switches, right?
Yeah, we didn't want to mess with nothing else.
Okay, that's Tony Glover. He's waiting here, and his driver's down the other end of pit road.
Well, Sterling, just climbing out of your Kodak Chevy. What a strong ride today, man.
I tell you, all the Kodak team's done a great job. The boys really worked hard, all the boys in the motor room, and all the guys in chassis shop, fab shop, everywhere. And this same old car we've always run since last year. It runs good everywhere, and hopefully should be good today.
What happened? It looked like the car quit out there.
We had a ignition box. We had a fan on the radiator to cool it off on pit stops, and evidently something shorted out, and I thought the thing blew up. And I coasted a good ways. I said, well, maybe I'll try switching boxes, and flipped it back over the box too, and man, it kicked right off and kept on going.
Were you concerned at all in these last few laps prior to the caution and now the red flag coming out, seeing all three of those Hendrick cars lined up behind you?
Yeah, real concerned. I tell you, I'm doing a lot of mirror driving, probably 90% in the mirror, and you know, if they fall back and get lined up, got to block them. And our car's working real good off the corners, and I can beat them a little bit up off two over there. And you know, hopefully it keeps raining. We ain't got to worry about it, but maybe it will, maybe it won't. Maybe it's these you know, Florida showers last about an hour and have to run again, but we hope not.
You wouldn't mind going 160, would you?
I wouldn't mind it, but I'd soon stop right here.
Okay, Sterling Marlin trying to finally get one victory in Daytona this year. He missed it in the Daytona 500, Bob.
Very, very strong and impressive performance by Sterling Marlin and all the Morgan McClure team. They did a great job again getting that car prepared. And again, it's not over yet. Stay with us, but the red flag has been displayed. And so the cars are lined up on pit road with their covers on, and the people are still enthusiastic. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Daytona, and you can see the very dark sky back of the master control tower here, the Winston Tower, and the rain is coming from those dark clouds. It has caused a red flag here on the 118th of 160 laps in the Pepsi 400 with Sterling Marlin leading. Let's go to Jerry Punch.
Well, we're down here as the drivers are climbing out of the cars, guys, and Dale Earnhardt, you're running fourth, but boy, the 4 car looks awfully stout.
Yeah, he's sort of by himself, isn't he? When you can beat the train that the 5 and 24 and the guys had, and you can beat them guys and hold you on and not get drafted by, I mean, that's pretty strong. I couldn't do nothing with him when I was behind him and had a couple cars helping me, so it's just a tough deal. We're about a 4th, 5th place car. We're just going to sit here and ride.
You made a heck of a move coming to the flag, picked up a spot.
Well, Schrader got a little loose or got high or something. I decided I better try something, you know. I didn't know who would go or what would go on behind me. But what's this radar look like? Is it going to be all day or half an hour or what?
Well, Dale, actually, they're telling us it is moving north, but it's a pretty wide sail, so they're just waiting to see how far north it does move. You and Michael Waltrip hooked up at the halfway point. Looked like you were going to try to get a shot at the money and couldn't quite pedal it fast enough.
Well, the 4 and those guys come up there so strong, and it was about time, and, you know, we sort of had to split up and do what we could for each other by ourselves. So it's tough racing these restrictor plates and big spoilers where everybody can drive them wide open.
All right, Dale Earnhardt, the current point leader, he currently sits fourth as we are all waiting for this shower or rains or whatever to clear, Bob, and hopefully get back to racing.
Yeah, we hope that we can get this thing in, but in any case, we have seen a great race, and we have seen a very impressive performance by Sterling Marlin. I mean, he's now, if he wins here today, he's won a race here at Daytona in 94, 95, and 96.
And we look fresh as a daisy, don't we, folks?
Do we?
After 118 laps here at the Daytona International Speedway. But yeah, the 4-car. And, you know, Daytona, if the thing hadn't blown up, it'd probably been the same situation. He probably would have been as strong.
And the cream rose to the top in this race because the top 3 in points are now 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Now, Labonte is running 2nd at the moment. He is 2nd in points. Jeff Gordon is 3rd. He's 3rd in points. And Dale Earnhardt is running in 4th position, and he's 1st in points.
So I guess that Earnhardt's going to take home the $50,000 for leading the money at leading the points at the halfway point. This is the halfway point of the season. This starts the second half, and who knows what's going to happen in the second half.
What a way to start it. Boy, it didn't go as we had hoped today because of the rain, but hey, we've seen some good racing anyway. We're going to take another break and be back with more live from Daytona International Speedway in a moment. Once again, Daytona International Speedway is silent, and it is because of rain. We have not yet completed the race, but it is raining again. You can see the dark storm clouds behind the Winston Tower here at Daytona. Let's take a look at the field as it stands right now with Sterling Marlin at the front of the field. Terry Labonte in 2nd position. 3rd is Gordon, then Earnhardt and Ernie Irvan. The Ernie Irvan and Dale Jarrett Yates cars are running 5th and 6th.
And Michael Waltrip, another great run. Schrader, Brett Bodine. How about that? Jimmy Spencer. Yeah. Mark Martin, Wally Dallenbach,
has another good run here.
And Morgan Shepherd, the first 40, 50 laps, could not hit a lick at anything, and now he's finishing in 13th spot. Another good run for Shepherd.
Yep.
Musgrave and Jeff Burton in 15th.
They're the top 15 as the red flag is flying over the racetrack, and it is still raining. Now let's take a look at 16 through 30. There are 28 cars that are on the lead lap right now, with Bobby Hamilton running in 16th spot.
Robert Presley, after the contact with Dick Trickle, able to get his car going again in 18th. And there we see Hutch Strickland, who had some all kind of problems. Solved some of them. He's in 19th spot. Rick Mast, Purvis, Ricky Craven, John Andretti, after he and Trickle smacked the wall. Kyle Petty, Johnny Benson, Darrell Waltrip, Mayfield, Trickle still in the lead lap. Loy Allen and Lake Speed a lap down.
Lake Speed running in 2nd position at one point, has lost a lap, however. And there you see the other cars that are a lap down. Dave Marcus is in 36, two laps down. Derek Cope has gotten into the Bill Elliott car in a relief role and running in 37th position because Derek Cope, as you can see, will be finishing in 42nd position as the first car out.
And I said that if the points were to be awarded now and the race would not restart, that Earnhardt would get the $50,000. That is, I was guessing, but I'm told that is correct. I think he has a 4 or 5 point lead on the 5-car of Terry Labonte.
All right. Well, nothing is happening here at the moment. We are going to stand by, however, and give you updates very, very soon or very often here at Daytona. But in the meantime, we've got a shop talk that we want to show you. Alan Bestwick is the host of the show. Dale Earnhardt is his guest. Stand by for updated reports. But right now, here is Shop Talk.
The man in black is back. At midpoint in the season, he's battling to stay ahead in the points all the way to the final race in Atlanta. Can he do it? Probably. They don't call him the Intimidator for nothing. Today, we talk with Dale Earnhardt on NASCAR Shop Talk.
Hi, Hi, hope you enjoyed the race. Welcome to NASCAR Shop Talk on ESPN. I'm Alan Bestwick. We're back for part 2 of our visit with Dale Earnhardt, the 7-time NASCAR Winston Cup Series champ. We're back at the racing shops just outside of Charlotte, where they prepared Jeff Green's NASCAR Busch Series machine and Ron Hornaday's NASCAR truck that Dale and Teresa Earnhardt own. Got lots of interesting topics to visit with Dale on today. Think you'll find the conversation kind of fun. And of course, while we do that, we've got some all-new Dale Earnhardt collectibles that you can shop for from at home. Here's a look at what we've got for you on the show today.
Thanks, Alan. In addition to some great Dale Earnhardt collectibles on the show today, to celebrate the upcoming Olympic Games in Atlanta, you have your first chance to get several Team USA items, including 2 special edition T-shirts. Both shirts feature the red, white, and blue Goodwrench Monte Carlo that Dale drove in the Winston Select and the Team USA graphics, and 2 Team USA caps. These cotton twill baseball caps are both embroidered with the Team USA colors and Earnhardt's number 3. We have 2 1996 number 3 die casts and 2 uniform items, including the new black Goodwrench jacket and the Goodwrench crew shirt. We've got 3 Earnhardt shirts, including the pocket tee, the engineered tee, and the black signature polo shirt. Great new caps are also included in today's lineup. And to decorate your home or office, we've got the Earnhardt triple woven cotton throw blanket. But first, a really special addition to our show, the new number 3 die cast. It's the 1/24th scale Earnhardt Premium Edition Centennial Olympic car by Revell. This diecast is a replica of the Monte Carlo Dale drove this year in the Winston Select to celebrate both Dale's championship status and the Centennial Olympic Games. This special diecast is fully detailed inside and out with superior definition on the chassis and comes on a collectible black signature base. The number 3 Centennial Olympic Monte Carlo is $54.99. And also to honor the Centennial Olympics and Dale Earnhardt, NASCAR artist Sam Bass has created this new painting titled Blaze of Glory. This beautiful piece of art captures the Olympic spirit as seen through the racer's eyes. Sam's limited this edition to just 1,996 in honor of this year's summer event. The print is signed and numbered by the artist and comes ready to frame. The Blaze of Glory print is $150. Have your credit card ready and call now to place your order at 1-800-258-1111. And now let's join Alan and his very special guest, Dale Earnhardt.
And joining me now, the 7-time NASCAR Winston Cup champion Dale Earnhardt, back at his shops in Mooresville, North Carolina, I guess outside Mooresville for part 2. Just saw a lot of Olympic-themed things around you and your race car. Tell me the story behind that race car.
It's pretty neat stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
I tell you, Goodwrench is an official sponsor of the Olympics. GM is, and when they started talking about doing maybe some kind of promotions with it, we got talking about doing the Winston again, you know, and maybe doing a commemorative car and honor the Olympics and the U.S. athletes and sort of support the Olympics. And so Goodwrench brought that program to us, and I think it's going to be great. It looks good, and we'll see what it's like in the race. I think it'll be a neat race car.
Got to be better than that silver one was last year.
Well, the silver one was pretty good. It just had a bad night.
Yeah. You've been back and forth across the ocean to Japan. You're bopping all over the country making appearances. When you've been having time lately to think about the race car and chassis setups and that kind of thing?
Well, it's been tough, but still David Smith and myself and Bobby Hutchins, everybody would sit and talk or talk on the phone a lot, but about the cars. And also, David and I worked so many years together, sort of secondhand to know what we sort of want and the focus we're after. And, you know, we run up against some things in practice sometimes, but still, we get it right come race time. So we have a little time to spend together.
What's a typical week of yours like? How many days do you spend here around home? How many nights do you spend here around home?
Not enough.
Yeah.
I think last year we was 340-some days connected with racing or doing some kind of promotions around racing or something that involved our job. So it's pretty busy, and you don't have much time for personal life. You just got to take it as it goes. But still, while things are happening like it is and it's competitive, you might as well get in there and go with it.
You're still having fun, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely with the racing.
Yeah. Is that the most enjoyable thing you do? Is that what you live for every week?
That's what it's all about. You get in that race car and go racing, and you have a great time.
We're going to dive into a couple of different topics with Dale over the next half hour. Hope you'll stay with us. It's NASCAR Shop Talk. We're at Dale Earnhardt Racing, and we're coming right back on ESPN.
Let's take a closer look at the special Team USA T-shirts. First, this dramatic black tee featuring 3 American symbols: the American Eagle, the American flag, and the Goodrich Chevrolet. The simple slogan on the back points out the connection between the 3 symbols with the statement, "It will fly." On the front, the answer is yes. The black tee is $22.99. Next, we have a specially dated tee in white, which also features the red, white, and blue number 3 car. In commemoration of the Winston Select, this white tee is dated with May 18th, 1996 on the front and has a big number 3 on the back. This dated tee is $22.99. We also have 2 new Team USA caps, each one uniquely designed. Both are cotton twilled and adjustable to fit all. This one features an embroidered number 3 car streaking across the front of a white cap with a blue bill. The other cap is constructed of heavy cotton twill with embroidered logos. Choose either cap, just $22.99. Call now to place your order for any of these items at 1-800-258-1111.
We're back with Dale Earnhardt on NASCAR Shop Talk, and I'm going to dive into Dale the businessman now for a little while on the show. You enjoy being a businessman? You've got a lot of varied interests outside of just being a race driver.
I don't like being the office guy. You know, sitting behind a desk is not for me, but you got to do quite a bit of it when you're involved with the Chevrolet dealership. We own a Sports Image apparel company, and also we have a company called Champion Air that handles the airplanes, and Taylor Ventures, which is charter boats, and rental properties, and just so many things that you got to sit down and talk about it. Your investments. We're part owner in Racing for Kids magazine, so we're into a little bit of everything. And Don Hawk and myself and Teresa stay pretty busy. And fortunately, I've got a guy like Don Hawk to handle all that. He's the president of Earnhardt Incorporated, so he handles all the really heavy paperwork, the heavy desk jobs. I just sort of breeze through.
You're the boss.
Well, Teresa's the boss.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, I mean, 5 years ago maybe, you were just a race driver. And was this diversification a part of thinking ahead, or is this just an outgrowth of being a race driver?
Well, it's an outgrowth of being a race driver. You know, you acquire things as you go, and you try to invest well and put your money where it can work for you in the future. And I think it was really great getting into the dealership, the Chevy dealership in Newton, and it's worked out really great with Tom and all the folks there. So, you know, business comes along with it, and it's growing. You got to try to invest and grow with it, and it's gotten bigger really than I can take care of. So you got to have quality people like Don Hawk and Tom Johnson, Joe Madison, everybody. It's just like crew chiefs on these super trucks with Doug Richard and Tony Ure with the Busch cars, and great drivers like Green and Hornaday. You got to have the right people in the right jobs.
You guys are taking care of business behind us too, building those NASCAR Busch Series cars and the trucks here that Ron Hornaday drives. Are you a good guy to work for, or are you a tough guy to work for? I mean, your image, some people might come away from saying you're tough to work for.
I'm probably tough to work for, but then again, I don't know. I try to be fair because I can work on these trucks and cars, and I can go out and farm, or I can go work on a car at the dealership or whatever, but you know, I try to let each manager or each person in their position handle their people. And we have full-time carpenters here and people that run motor graders and work chicken houses and everything else. So we got a variety of people in working areas, and it's tough to be the boss. So you got a lot of friends here, but that's why I like to let the managers handle it.
Dale Earnhardt, the businessman, here with us on NASCAR Shop Talk. We'll get him to put his race driver's helmet back on when we come back in just a minute. Don't go away.
We are back live at Daytona International Speedway, and the rain continues to come down. In fact, it's coming down quite hard. It is thundering and lightning. It's not a very pleasant situation at all right now. However, NASCAR has not made a decision, and they apparently will not for quite some time, because we've got enough daylight left that it does stop raining. We could get the rest of this race in. But let's take a look at the Busch race recap. Sterling Marlin has led 88 of the 117 laps that we have completed. We have had 9 lead changes, 4 caution periods, 12 laps, average speed 161.386. The lap leaders and those that have picked up 5 bonus points include Sterling Marlin, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Gordon, Michael Waltrip, Ken Schrader, and Kyle Petty has also led 1 lap of this race. As far as the attrition is concerned, not all that much. Derek Cope dropped out of the race, so did Greg Sachs and Kenny Wallace, but only 3 cars officially out of the competition. There are 28 cars on the lead lap. We'll take a look at a Fram field summary here, Benny. We've seen this earlier, but there are some guys that really deserve talking about that have put on a great performance here today.
Yeah, we sure have. And the numbers on the right of the names, in parentheses, that's where those drivers started. See, Michael Waltrip started in 23rd spot. Look at Brett Bodine, finished 9th. His best finish of the year started in 36th. Mark Martin started 4 spots farther back in 40th and finished 11th. Dallenbach, 35th. Musgrave, 38th. Jeff Burton, 33rd. And all those fellows in the top 15.
Wow, very impressive performance there. 16 through 30. There you see the 28 cars that are on the lead lap. Dick Trickle started in 13th position, has fallen back to 28. He was involved in an accident, which really was the only accident of the entire race that involved him and a couple of other cars. And there is the remainder of the field as it stands right now. And again, we are under red because of the rain that you see falling, but we still have no official word from NASCAR on whether this race will be resumed. Now take a look at the point standings. Only a 5-point difference between Earnhardt and Terry Labonte as the first half has been completed or about to be completed. Sterling Marlin picks up a position and goes to 5th in the point standings.
Let's go 6 to 10. Kenny Schrader, he'll pick up a spot. Ricky Rudd loses 2 spots. We see Mark Martin has picked up, Musgrave picked up a spot, and Rusty Wallace, with this finish today, will drop 2 spots.
Bobby Hamilton and Ricky Craven will stay 11th and 12th. Michael Waltrip moves up 2. Ernie Irvin moves up 2, and Jeff Burton falls down 1 position to 15th. Let's take a look at 16 through 20. In fact, we'll show you the top 25. Here's 16 through 20, Benny.
Jimmy Spencer up in 16th. Bobby Labonte is big loser, 4 spots. Rick Mast, Mayfield stay the same, and Dallenbach up in 20th spot, gaining 1 spot.
Now 21st through 25th in the point standings. Brett Bodine, because of the 11th, the 9th place performance, I should say, will move up to 22nd, and Morgan Shepherd will gain 2 positions up into the 25th position. That's the situation as it stands right now. It is still raining here at Daytona. No determination. We'll continue to bring you updates from here. In the meantime, let's go back to Shop Talk. Alan Bestwick and Dale Earnhardt.
Welcome back to NASCAR Shop Talk. No diecast collection can be complete without the newest 1996 number 3 Goodwrench Monte Carlos. Today we have both the diecast car and the bank in 1/24th scale. The bank has tinted windows all around with a coin slot through the back and a key on the bottom for access to the coins. The car has a fully detailed interior with hinged trunk and hood to reveal the engine. Choose either diecast for only $49.99. Call now to place your order, 1-800-258-1111.
Back on NASCAR Shop Talk with Dale Earnhardt from Dale Earnhardt's Place, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, outside of Mooresville, North Carolina. I'm going to throw some names at you now, some different people involved in your racing career. You tell me what comes to mind when you think of them. First one's Richard Childress.
Oh, he's been a super friend and a great car owner, but a super friend, and I'm fortunate to have someone like him to drive for.
Bill France Jr.
Mastermind. You know, his dad sort of set it in stone and got it rolling, and Bill Francis Jr. He's really carried it, I think, further than anybody could, and it just amazes me. He can say a few words and mean so much in a conversation that's just unbelievable. I'm impressed every time I sit down and listen to him talk or in a conversation with him.
How about Rusty Wallace?
Tough competitor. It's fun racing Rusty. I've had a lot of fun racing him. We've had some run-ins together, but still, we get in a helicopter and fly to Wilkesboro together, fly around, look at each other's houses and farms and things that's going on, and talk about airplanes and racing. And he goes his way, and I go my way. But tough competitor.
Jeff Gordon.
He's the up-and-coming star. You know, he's got. I tell you, he's a tough little racer, and he's going to be a great racer. He's a great racer. He's a good champion. He's got it all to do. The age, he's at the right age. He's got all the opportunity in the world to top Richard Petty's and my record of 7 and then some. Of course, I hope we can push it to 8 or 9 for him to top. But he's going to be great in his time.
Teresa Earnhardt.
She's the greatest. She's made me a happy person, and we got a great family. And I tell you, she's the business side of Earnhardt. Since 1982, we got married, and she's been an important instrumental in help put things in the right perspective and look at the big picture, so to speak. But great friend, great wife.
Last one is Dale Earnhardt. What does Dale think about Dale?
He's just a regular guy, really. Hopefully a good dad. I worry about my kids a lot and what their future can be. And, you know, we got some that's 26 and down to 22 that's racing, Kelly and Carrie and Dale Jr. And also we have a 7-year-old Taylor, and worried about her future and what she has got to look forward to in life. But I'm pretty proud of my kids, and hopefully I'm a good daddy.
More coming up with Dale Earnhardt on NASCAR Shop Talk. Right now, though, let's take another look at the products we've got available for you today.
Thanks, Alan. Let's take a quick look back at all of the Earnhardt items we've shown you thus far today. Remember, our lines are open 24 hours a day, so if you get a busy signal now, try again later. Choose one of the Team USA t-shirts. The dated Winston Select tee and the It Will Fly tee are $22.99 each. Get a new Team USA cap, your choice of the number 3 embroidered car or the red, white, and blue Team USA cap. Both caps, just $22.99 each. And 2 1996 number 3 die casts, your choice of the 1/24th scale car or the bank, just $49.99 each. Call 1-800-258-1111 and use your credit card, or you can order by mail. Send your check, including item numbers and the shipping costs, to NASCAR Shop Talk, Post Office Box 2367, Norcross, Georgia 30091. Stay tuned. We've got more Dale Earnhardt collectibles coming up right after this.
Welcome back to NASCAR Shop Talk. We've got some great new shirts today, specially designed for Dale Earnhardt fans. Take a look at this supersized engineered tee, constructed of the best quality cotton with graphics on the front, back, and sleeves. This tee recalls Dale's success over the years with the slogan, "Times may change, but the man remains the same." What a tribute to the man in black. This engineered tee is $29.99. Also available is your choice of 2 all-cotton tees paired with Dale's Goodwrench number 3 cap. The front pocket tee has the Earnhardt Racing Gear logo on the pocket and the back. The graphic tee features views of the number 3 Monte Carlo on the front and back. Choose either tee with a cap for the combo price of just $39.99. And today we also have the Earnhardt Cotton PK Polo. The 5-button polo is designed with Earnhardt signature embroidered on the chest above the pocket and has a rib knit collar and sleeve band. The black polo is $39.99. Also available today is this throw blanket with the number 3 Monte Carlo and Dale's signature woven into the design. The 3x5 blanket is made of triple woven cotton with thick fringe all around. Perfect to wrap up in or use as a wall hanging. The Earnhardt throw is $59.99. Call now to place your order. Our operators are available anytime, even after the show is over, at 1-800-258-1111. And now back to Alan with more NASCAR Shop Talk.
We're back on NASCAR Shop Talk. Alan Bestwick here with Dale Earnhardt. Want to talk about some racing now. We're standing here leaning up against one of Jeff Green's NASCAR Busch Series machines. Let's talk about your team and its performance so far this season. They're in the middle of a month off right now.
Yeah, they needed it, too, to get these race cars back together. They had a little rough start this year, and but they've turned it around and ran good at Bristol. Finished up second, qualified on the pole at Darlington, and had a pretty good race at Hickory, ended up 7th. So pretty happy with it. It was a slow start, though, and it was a little rough to start with, but they got it on track.
Now, right behind us is one of Ron Hornaday's NASCAR trucks here that he's, as we speak, going to run at Phoenix in a couple of days. Only one race to talk about so far for this team this season, but what do you expect for them through the next 10 months?
We were close last year with a championship shot at it, but came up short, and this year we want to capitalize on all our mistakes from last year, and I think Ron and the guys are working really hard and can win. They ended up, you know, with Homestead a little short of that. He just came close, but still he's competitive every race, and Ron's a tough racer, and they go out there and put 100% into it, and the guys do a great job, and to build this team out of what they did with nothing to start with last year, and come up and do what they did with it, and look forward to a great future with them. We got a new sponsor with Napa and the folks with Action and everybody, so we're looking forward to going to victory on a lot this year.
Where do you see the Truck Series playing in NASCAR racing down the road? There are some folks who want to purport it as being the second Winston Cup Series in another 10 years. You think it'll ever be that big?
Could, yes, but I think the Busch Series is going to grow as well. They're pushing it to grow too. So They're both great series, and NASCAR needs it. We got so much competition and so much racing in Winston Cup. We got to sort of overflow somewhere, and it's a great place too.
So we got 2 teams here in this shop. Up the road, what,
3
quarter mile is another
teams.
Yeah.
3 more teams up there. The kids are racing up there, and we call it Chance Incorporated is the name of their little company. And they have 3 race teams: Kelly and Kerry and Dale Jr. And they got more race cars and engines than these guys got put together. They got race cars everywhere, but they're having a good time. And you know, they're not winning right off the bat here, but they got a lot of promise and a lot of equipment up there to do it with. So time will tell.
Dale Earnhardt got race cars all over the place. We'll come right back in a minute.
No Earnhardt Shop Talk show is complete without a chance to get one of his uniform items. Today, for the first time on Shop Talk, we have the number 3 uniform jacket, newly constructed black, at the great new price of $159.99. It's made of heavy cotton twill and designed like his Goodwrench uniform. It's fully lined with a snap front, side pockets, and a racer's collar. Also, as a special sale today, we have the Goodwrench crew shirt, designed like the shirt the team wears. This heavyweight pullover is cut generously for comfortable wear. The Goodwrench crew shirt is just $29.99 today. You'll save $5. Call 1-800-258-1111 for either of these uniform items. The lines are open 24 hours a day, every day. And now let's return to Alan and Dale Earnhardt.
We're back on NASCAR Shop Talk with Dale Earnhardt for a final few minutes. Want to talk about some of the people who help you get through a weekend at the racetrack, and when things aren't going right. Who's the person you turn to the most for advice at the racetrack or to bounce things off of?
Teresa, Don Hawk, Richard Childers.
Yeah.
In that order. Richard and I are really close when it comes to talking about the car, or if we, having a problem with the car, or not just right on where we want to be. If I've had a bad qualifying day, Teresa's the one that had to bounce it off of, but and Don, he's got a lot of business going on, and we're all the time bouncing things off each other. But got a pretty good support team. The team itself, with all the guys with the team, are very supportive, and that's why I think we've done so well. It's a team effort.
You talked before often about your heroes in racing, your dad, Richard Petty. Any heroes outside of racing, people whose occupations you admire and like?
Well, definitely Pastor Cozart with our church, and also Max Selton with MRO, but people like that can take and teach and guide and help people is what I admire most.
What about if you had to switch occupations? If I said you got to do something else beside racing, what else would you do? What else interests you?
I don't know. It'd be tough. I think I'd probably go into aviation. I like flying. I haven't had time to really sit down and get my license or anything, but I like to take the controls of the airplane and fly a little and enjoy that. But it'd probably be something like that, something related outdoors. Might even be a rodeo guy, cowboy.
I'd never believe that for a minute. Is Dale Earnhardt having fun? 1996, May, is it fun being Dale Earnhardt?
It's fun, the racing, and it gets a little hectic and the tough scheduling and everything, but that's part of being good and busy.
What about, my last question to you would be, if number 8 doesn't come this year, you have your hopes set on that really high. What if number 8 doesn't come this year? Will it be a big disappointment?
As always, next year. Look toward the future.
All right. Dale, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it. Appreciate the time to come around and look through your facility, and wish you and all your race teams a lot of luck this year.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Dale Earnhardt, driver of the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet, here with us on NASCAR Shop Talk. Before we go today, let's take a final look at the products we have available for you on the show.
Thanks, Alan. Let's take a quick look back at all of the Earnhardt items we've shown you thus far today. Remember, our lines are open 24 hours a day, so if you get a busy signal now, try again later. Choose one of the Team USA t-shirts. The dated Winston Select tee and the It Will Fly tee are $22.99 each. Get a new Team USA cap, your choice of the number 3 embroidered car or the red, white, and blue Team USA cap. Both caps, just $22.99 each. And 2 1996 number 3 die casts, your choice of the 1/24th scale car or the bank, just $49.99 each.
We've got some great new shirts today, specially designed for Dale Earnhardt fans. Take a look at the supersized engineered tee, constructed of the best quality cotton with graphics on the front, back, and sleeves. This tee recalls Dale's success over the years with the slogan, "Times may change, but the man remains the same." What a tribute to the man in black. This engineered tee is $29.99. Also available is your choice of 2 all-cotton tees paired with Dale's Goodwrench number 3 cap. The front pocket tee has the Earnhardt Racing Gear logo on the pocket and the back. The graphic tee features views of the number 3 Monte Carlo on the front and back. Choose either tee with a cap for the combo price of just $39.99. And today we also have the Earnhardt Cotton Piqué Polo. The 5-button polo is designed with Earnhardt signature embroidered on the chest above the pocket and has a rib knit collar and sleeve bands. The black polo is $39.99. Also available today is this throw blanket with the number 3 Monte Carlo and Dale's signature woven into the design. The 3x5 blanket is made of triple woven cotton with thick fringe all around. Perfect to wrap up in or use as a wall hanging. The Earnhardt throw is $59.99.
Today, for the first time on Shop Talk, we have the number 3 uniform jacket, newly constructed black at the great new price of $159.99. It's made of heavy cotton twill and designed like his Goodwrench uniform. It's fully lined with a snap front, side pockets, and a racer's collar. Also as a special sale today, we have the Goodwrench crew shirt, designed like the shirt the team wears. This heavyweight pullover is cut generously for comfortable wear. The Goodwrench crew shirt is just $29.99 today. You'll save $5. Call 1-800-258-1111 for either of these uniform items. The lines are open 24 hours a day, every day.
Thanks for your interest in the items we had for you on NASCAR Shop Talk today. We know the phone lines have been busy. The operators are on duty 24 hours a day. We appreciate your calling back. My thanks to Dale Earnhardt for joining us on our last 2 editions of NASCAR Shop Talk, and his race teams for giving us the space to work in their shops. For now, Alan Bestwick. We'll see you next time.
Pepsi 400, part of the ESPN Speed World from Daytona International Speedway, being brought to you by Valvoline Durablend, the #1 selling semi-synthetic motor oil. By New Miller Beer, the brand new beer from Miller with big flavor that goes down easy. By the more than 1,325 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by the NASCAR Story. To order, call 800-71-NASCAR. The official word has been given. The Pepsi 400 is over. They will not attempt to restart this race because the rain continues to fall very, very heavily. It's still thundering and lightning, and besides that, the radar looks very, very poor, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop raining anytime soon. We are standing by to locate Sterling Marlin in order to do a McDonald's Winter Circle interview. We're waiting on him to come to Victory Lane, and when he does get there, we will have an interview with him. The True Value man of the race for last week's Miller 400, Rusty Wallace. True Value, on behalf of Rusty, donates $1,000 to the Rusty Wallace Charitable Foundation, which contributes to the Burn Center at Brenner's Children's Hospital. Rusty had 3 wins this season, including 2 weeks ago at Michigan, 5 top 5s, 7 top 10s, and now has won over $13 million in NASCAR money. Rusty also one of the many NASCAR drivers to participate in Stocks for Tots, which helps provide gifts and goodies to needy children at Christmas. So our congratulations to Rusty. Well, it's been a rather long day, BP, but again, we did see some great racing. It's just too bad that it had to come to a premature end because of the weather.
And we saw Sterling Marlin with a very, very dominant car. Again, you're in Daytona, Talladega. Something about these racetracks that Sterling Marlin, the Morgan McCourt team, dominate.
Even with the problem that he had during the middle part of the race, and we said, uh-oh, it's all over for Sterling. He isn't going to win today, but it was an ignition problem. He just switched the ignition boxes, and boom, he was up front again.
Amazing.
We will be back to wrap it up and talk with the winner of today's race, Sterling Marlin. It ends early because of rain, but it has been called off the rest of the way. We'll be right back. It's a damp Victory Lane that we visit here at Daytona late on a Saturday afternoon, but the race has been called because of rain. The McDonald's Winter Circle interview and Bill Weber.
And Sterling Marlin, congratulations on a soggy Saturday. You're certainly the big winner.
Yeah, we are. I tell you, all the guys on the Kodak team did a great job. Car drove great, ran great. I tell you, Runt did a good job with the motor, and everything fell our way. We had a little scare there early when the ignition went out and flipped the switch and clutched it and kept running. So I've never walked to victory lane, so I got here for the car cover, so it's kind of weird. So yeah, we're happy to be here, and hopefully it's the midpoint of the season, and we can get us a couple, 3 more wins and try to get back to top 3 of the championship race.
What is the magic with you and restricted plate races?
I tell you, it's this team. The guys do a great job with it. I've always enjoyed running Daytona and Talladega. They're my 2 favorite tracks. They're team's favorite tracks, and Runt just licks his chops when he gets ready to come down here, and it all goes together for us, and they really prepare well for here, and it shows.
And Tony Glover, the Western Auto Mechanic of the race, so obviously in your estimation he certainly deserves that.
Yeah, he did. He made some good calls, and some deals where we could have took 2 and went ahead and got 4 tires, and he's one of the greatest, and my hat's off to him.
Sterling Marlin, congratulations.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Sterling Marlin had to walk to victory lane, but any way he can get here, he'll take it.
Absolutely. Sterling Marlin, with a strong performance, wins the Pepsi 400 at Daytona, and the first half of the 1996 NASCAR Winston Cup season is over. 15 races have been completed, 16 to go. Let's take a look at the results here this afternoon. Terry Labonte finished in 2nd position. Jeff Gordon was 3rd. Earnhardt 4th, and Ernie Irvin finished in 5th position.
Dale Jarrett, Michael Waltrip, Kenny Schrader, Brett Bodine, and Jimmy Spencer. That's the top 10.
11 through 15, Martin, Dallenbach, Musgrave, Burton, and Shepard. 16 through 30, Hamilton, Presley, Nemechek, Strickland, and Mass.
Purvis, Craven, Andretti, Petty, Benson, Darrell Waltrip, Jeremy Mayfield, Trickle, Speed, and Loy Allen.
Finishing in 31st through 42nd, Rusty Wallace, 31st. Bobby Hillen, 32nd. Only 3 cars were out of the race when the checkered flag, actually the red flag, dropped. The points, a separation of 5 between Dale Earnhardt and Terry Labonte. Earnhardt wins the halfway money. Jeff Gordon, 37 behind. Dale Jarrett and Sterling Marlin are 4th and 5th in the point standings as the second half of the season begins. There is 6 through 10 in the point standings. Our next NASCAR Winston Cup race here on ESPN will be at Watkins Glen. However, this crew will have coverage of the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis the first weekend of August. Well, the CFL is coming up with Mike Goldberg. Thanks for being with us today here at Daytona, where Sterling Marlin was the winner of today's race. And the Pepsi 400 has been a presentation of ESPN.